1 through 20. Or maybe he... Oh, no, he did a whole...
Oh, he did like
70.
76?
He starts at 71.
Okay, 70, yeah, somewhere in there.
So
I'm trying not to look
so
at him too much right now.
Yeah. That is a very long and complete, at this point, list.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm reading them as they come in just because it's kind of delightful, I think. Because, like, when the full thing arrives, it's going to be a brick.
Oh, it's going to be a brick, but, like, I like bricks. Like, I'm all about that brick lifestyle.
There's just so many games. There's so many games.
It really is.
Like, I'm just looking through this like, yep, I played that and totally forgot about it.
God. I don't forget because I have my lists.
You love lists. Your many lists.
See, my lists only go back to 2013, so for those couple of years at the start, I was like, I don't know.
I just don't think anything really stuck out that much about 2010 and 2011-ish. We were kind of getting to the end of a generation where everybody was kind of running out of ideas and moving all their big ones to the next.
I think
that was pretty much even every year except for 2012 and 2013 where I had twice as many because that was when I was in college and playing every free game.
In college and all the time in the world.
See, yeah. John's list is completely different from ours. Mine is like, oh yeah, well Just Cause 2 came out in 2010. And in 2011 we had Skyrim and...
John is literally just...
Skyrim and Dark Souls, that's actually pretty good, and Fez.
John is literally just like the entirety of itch.io.
No, this is pre-itch.io, was 2010.
Oh shit. When did itch.io get started?
I don't actually know, but... I certainly wasn't aware of it at that time. Let me peek at my list again.
Oh, so Austin Howe listed years, so here's some from early years. Nier 2010.
Okay, yep.
Deadly Premonition 2010.
Thank you for the sub, John.
Y'all are forgetting Sword and Sorcery, which was either 2010 or 2011.
That game's bad.
Not forgetting about it. Portal 2 2011.
Oh, Tinker gifted that sub to John. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Tinker, for the gift sub. Thank you for the 100 bits. You gotta be streaming.
You said I get like a free subscription from Amazon Prime. I haven't figured that out yet.
Twitch Prime.
You link your account to Twitch with you do it in the Twitch's control panel, I believe.
Gotcha. Cool. Yeah.
They give you like several free games every month that you won't care about.
Yeah, you really won't care about any of them.
Oh man, Paulie, so I was going on Twitch just because it was end of the month, and I'm like, oh, so what freebies do they have this month? And in addition to like actual full games, they have a ton of in-game loot, and it's like a billion different things for games I don't play. One of them was a fucking skin for Contra Rogue Core.
I saw that! It was like, what the fuck?
I'm like, they must have just had these deals planned out a year in advance or something.
They had to, because there's literally nobody on Twitch streaming Contra Rogue Core. I'll goddamn guarantee it.
There's nobody at Konami working on Contra Rogue Core anymore.
Literally not. Nope.
Put out to die.
Ugh.
I mean,
God.
With what that thing was, I don't blame them.
Oh, that game is so bad.
Blazing Chrome happened.
Blazing Chrome is great.
Mm-hmm.
I love Blazing Chrome. I think it's really awesome. I wish the weapons were a little better. Yeah. That's my only real sticking point with that game. It's like why it's real kind of hard to say like, the perfect Contra replacement has arrived. Like look, it's good, but the weapons are a little.
You like the default machine gun the most.
The default is so good.
Yeah, the default is really good. And the grenades are really good. How's it going, Jetstorm? Welcome.
Welcome
to your doom. What are you buying? What are you selling? I'll buy it at a high price.
That's very good.
When you live by yourself, there's a lot of things that you have time to do. One of them...
become a professional voice actor.
It's to become a professional voice actress and star Resident Evil 4, and nobody knew it.
All this time. I wonder how many game of the decade lists on all the internet listed Ink Repair Spiders and Cubes. It's an obvious classic.
Oh, right.
Y'all could play it. Y'all could play it in 2 minutes right now. Just Spiders and Cubes game, and it'd bring you joy.
Is it a Flickr
John, how
game?
many games on your...
What do you say, Polly?
Is it a Flickr game?
No, it's a Unity game,
Oh,
but
it's
it's
Unity.
a 2-minute Unity game.
Oh, interesting.
John, how many games on your list are less than 5 minutes long?
Out of the ones I've posted, 1, 2, 3, 4. That counts. Just 5, and
I
then
think all of my
plus
games
Experiment
are
12.
all of my games are at least 15 minutes, I think.
5 out of the 20, and then Experiment 12 is 12 short games.
I remember that dumb idea I had a long time ago, where
To do it like
You'll have to be more specific.
to do. It was the idea that to make like a community game that was 365 games, and then
Jesus, I don't remember this.
and then every day would be a different game that like when you loaded it up.
And then Rami ripped you off.
Yeah,
And then Rami
this
ripped
literally
me
did
off.
happen.
Yeah,
Just not with us.
just not with us. That was one of my ideas, and I was just like, I'm so close to doing that. No, there goes motivation.
That would be immensely more work than you thought it would be. I mean, 3... Oh my god, I can't imagine.
Well, it was
Well,
literally
they'd
just an
be like
idea
what
to
they
get
make.
everybody into the idea of playing around with Game Maker and stuff. That was the idea of it, is to get everybody to kind of like collaborate, make one little dumb thing. It doesn't matter what it is. The idea is just like it's a collage. You know, like that was kind of.
I think we could do a month of that, though.
I think we could. I think we could make like a WarioWare kind of thing if, depending on how easy it is, would be to plug in like the mini games. That would not be hard. Like a lot of those
If
mini
we all
games are
use the
so
same-
easy to make.
Yeah,
If we all use the same engine.
Yeah.
If we wanted
that's what I'm saying. Like importing stuff into Flash like that would probably be a nightmare.
I mean, if we all did, I don't know, we passed around a Game Maker project, we could do that.
Yeah.
The alternative is having everybody just making different stuff in different engines, which I also think would be pretty funny. It's like today's a Bitsy thing, today's an RPG Maker thing, because this person made like 5 Bitsy games and submitted them.
I'm gonna do the hot Game Maker port of your Wednesday game.
Excellent.
There you go. I'll put it out this Wednesday. That'll be my
Shit, I forgot that on my Game of the Decade list. I'm sorry.
shit.
It's okay, Brett. I've already made a superior Flick game now.
I don't know. I still like Wednesday.
That's fair.
Wait, what's the other one? The
spider one.
The spider one.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
I repeated the thematic material of Spider's Hollow, so I understand if that kind of disqualifies in your minds. Treading water creatively.
John's got that one idea. Just really likes hammering on it.
It's a good idea.
He just wants people to know he wants to fuck a spider. And be eaten at the end. That's all. That's literally
the
it.
important. You got to include the second part.
Yeah,
It's very important.
Welcome to Sockscast, episode 112, brought to you, as always, by Moon Pies. Moon Pies, have you fucked a spider today?
This was a good cold open, I just want to say.
Definitely. Hey, everybody. Game of the Decade thing. It's still happening. Just want to toss it out here at the top of the show that you can still toss us your games of the decade by going over to socksmakepeoplesexy.net/sliders and looking in that games forum, that interactive digital entertainment software forum. Checking in there. Check the rules. Rhett's got a big old list at the top. You can check that out. And then post your lists. It's fun. We're getting a lot of lists now.
Oh my god, it's so much. We've made such a huge mistake.
We have made the biggest mistake. Like, this is the first time that we're doing one of these lists where we've had to kind of break up who's doing what. Because we're presenting it a little more, I think, I don't know, I think we're going a bit more all out with the presentation, making it look a little nicer than they have in the past, a little more uniform. That was my idea, and Rhett hated it at first.
Well, it's because I hated doing images in the past. Well, images started early on the 16-bit stuff because those had standard resolutions.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you hit 32-bit and like the PS2 era stuff, it just became a nightmare.
Yeah, like everything's different, so just throw it in there and say fuck it. But I thought of a a little more of an elegant solution that you'll see in the final product. I think it looks nice. And I think that you're still able to represent the games fully in the way that we thought of. But yeah, like I'm having to do all of the images, which there's going to be a lot of games when you let everybody pick 100 of them. So like the final image count on this article is probably going to be way bigger than anything we've ever had on the site. And those Final Fantasy articles are loaded with images.
In the thousands.
Thousands. Like
over
this
1,000, most likely.
Man.
Like it's gonna be crazy just how much, like, how do you pace this out over the course of posting it once it's done? And obviously we'll know that once we have our final number come sometime around that ambiguous number of that ambiguous date of sometime around the 1st of April. It's kind of when we're gonna stop taking data for this.
We'll see.
But it's just thinking, like, how many? Because we did it like over the course of 5 days, all for all the other ones. So
yeah, I
it's
think
like,
this has to be more. If it's like 200 games a page,
yeah, this is going to be ridiculous. Like the final numbers and the final image counts on this shit is going to be insane. This is literally likely to be the final fucking article posted to Sockscast.
Oh my god.
So if we're gonna go, like, and I don't mean that because obviously, like, if somebody's wanting to pay Pat to write more Final Fantasy shit, I will give him that space to let him do that. Go on, get yours, baby doll. But yeah, we are still cranking away. We're still cranking away on Game of the Decade. Like I said, go over to socksmakepeoplesexy.net/sliders and into the Interactive Digital Entertainment Software Forum, and you can get all the information on how you can contribute right on up in there. It'll be great. You'll have a great time making us have to do this amazing amount of work. It's going to be amazing by the end. And I think that, like, once we have sort of the final number of games, I think that, like, we're going to kind of decide, like, how many the last day is going to be, and then I think that we'll probably do a podcast for the final day, before we post it to the site, so that we'll make it a little bit of an event, so to speak. And I'll set up a layout in OBS to kind of like show images and stuff associated with each game on the list. We're gonna go all out on this thing. We might as well do it. So yeah, that's gonna be real fun. But yeah, get on over, get a list submitted. It's going to take us a while to get that together. But that is not the only list that we're going to be working on. Because I guess sometime, this is another ambiguous date that Rhett has given me. A couple of weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks. By next podcast.
By next podcast, we need your top 3 anime from 2010 to 2019. So you're going to have to look up those dates when they aired. Man, there's some real edge cases that come in from like 2009 to 2010 into the new year.
I mean, if it finished airing in 2010, I mean, it kind of has to count, you know?
Yeah, I think that's a fair way to look at it. I don't think that it's actually going to be... I don't think we're going to reveal the list on the next podcast, but in 2 weeks...
Well, yeah.
At least in 2 weeks, we want those lists. Your lists, your top 3 anime, write a bit about it. And then we'll figure out how, because I don't know, Rhett's the one, like, how are we doing this, Rhett?
You know how we do game of the year?
Yeah.
Normally, we just read our top 10s and then have guest ones.
All right.
Guest top 3s.
So, once you've got your top 3 anime put together, I want you to get that all written down, get you a list and all that, and send it off to podcast@socksmakepeoplesexy.net. And it's just like Game of the Year. We'll read yours interspersed. And that'll be fun. That'll be a good time.
If we get any.
If we get any. If we don't, we're still going to be recording that episode. I don't know that we're going to do it live. I think we'll probably just record it and then post it later.
Yeah, true.
But yeah. Anyway, to my immediate virtual right, one cock to rule them all. It's Rhett. Let's go on, Rhett.
I had someone ask me this week, what is with the Rhett's penis jokes? And I'm just like, I kind of don't know. Polly just started it and has run with it for like 5 years now.
I like your penis. What is there? What is there to think about with regards to
an inside joke that is incredibly simple to actually figure out.
Yeah, like there's no layers to it. There's no layers to this joke at all. There's nothing. There's no fine bits. There's no minutia. It's just very much, let me all up on that penis.
Yeah.
There you go.
And you like making me squirm.
But like, Was it somebody online that asked you this? I hope it wasn't somebody in real life that listens.
It was not in person.
Because that would be great. That would be really funny. If anybody knows Rhett in real life, go ask him. Ask him about his penis in real life, please.
I think it started in earnest because Rhett squirmed a lot at the start. Oh, like, yeah. You got desensitized to it over time.
Yeah.
Kind of. I think there's still a little bit of the old worm wiggle going on when I mention his penis.
I just wanted to say thank you to Zelaz, to Rhett, to Becky, to Austin, to Zim, and to Carmi, because those are the folks who have posted their lists or list fragments thus far on the forum.
Oh, good.
So many thanks.
Many thanks. And some of those lists are ongoing.
Yep.
Many of
mine
them
are.
Yep. I have literally blurbed probably about 48 of my entries. So.
Out of me.
Whew. Oh boy. Sometimes it's just like the best blurb is, I don't know, it's really cool and I like it. I'm going to definitely be using that on a few of them.
I think that's fair. They'll be spread out in the final list.
Exactly. To my immediate virtual left, what a pity. It's John Thayer.
Oh, shit. Slam dunks. Hi.
How's it going, John?
I'm doing well.
You ready for this wonderful podcast that we are about to embark on?
It got destroyed, sure.
Well, then why don't you go ahead and get our podcast kicked into full gear. And let us know what you been up to, John?
Wow, you broke John.
I don't think he was expecting that.
It was the combo of the intro, and then I played the Suikoden VN, the first one.
Oh no! What a pity!
This will be a short one because it surprise, it really does not resolve at all at the end. So I need to play the second volume if I want to get the full experience.
But is there like anything interesting about it at all? Like, are there hooks, or are you just doing this out of obligation at this point?
Okay, so here is my reasoning. It's by Murayama. It's the same guy that created Suikoden, that had the original idea for Suikoden 2, and then all that stuff. Like it is the main creative force behind Suikoden. Created 2 visual novels on the PlayStation that take place in the same world as Suikoden 2 and Suikoden 1 and 2. And as I understood it, it starred Nash, an original character, and the cute sleepy vampire girl from Suikoden 2, whose whole gimmick is that she's a vampire
and she wants to sleep,
and she just wants to sleep. So every time when you meet her, she's just like out in the town and really annoyed because the town has woken her up so they can try to burn her alive. And she's just like, I'm just really tired. What is going on? This is annoying.
Like the big relate to that character, I think. Big old fucking relate.
So I was like, okay. It only was like 4 to 6 hours long. Also, it's short. And I was like, well, maybe when he's not telling a giant 30-hour RPG, he's forced by the constraints of the VN format to tell a more intimate, constrained, limited in scope story.
Oh no!
He'll be more disciplined.
Oh,
does that logic? And it has the cute vampire girl. So does that logic make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So the first hour of the Suikoden VN is about you fighting an evil vampire.
You know, you gotta write what you know.
Yeah.
It's not... Necklord is referenced in the backstory, but it's not Necklord. It's actually a more interesting vampire. It is the best thing in all of Suikoden. This 1 hour vampire story completely kicks ass. It's just like a really cool, great shonen thing.
Okay.
It rules.
Not what I was expecting.
Yeah, no, it completely rules. It just like has really good action. Nash is extremely cool. The vampire lady, they like take this 10-minute flashback to just tell the vampire lady and the villain's backstory, and it's actually really, really well done because she's the one that created vampires in the first place, essentially. Because she had the true rune that let her do that, and it's a really good, affecting story. And Necklord is referenced.
Wow.
And his existence is elevated
No! That's not how you do this! You don't tell the good story and then wipe your ass with it.
So then I got to the end and I was like, okay, now the vampire's going to kick their ass and they're going to have to run away. And then we'll spend the rest of the time like building up to this climactic confrontation with this villain. And then they just kill the vampire.
Oh.
And then the sleepy vampire girl leaves the game forever.
Oh no!
Well, we just made the game way worse.
So this is the tragedy of the Suikoden VN, is that Suikoden Gaiden is that it is 4 episodes that are almost completely disconnected from each other. And there's almost no through line. Like, there's just this little teeny tiny thing about Nash's backstory that is not resolved and will hopefully be resolved in the next game. It is otherwise just 4 episodes. The second episode is basically just Nash pushes himself into a scene from Suikoden 2 that should have been in Suikoden 2 but wasn't, where they just explain Joey's motivation, which they don't do for most of Suikoden 2, really. And then they explain Luca. His mom died. No. He's sad about it. They didn't do this in the game. I don't know if it's this or if it's something else. It's very brief. He's like, the sister just mentions like, doing this won't bring mom back, and then he's like, I would kill you if you didn't look so much like her. He's very deep.
Yeah.
This sounds like that thing that Vanna wrote about on the
it does
game of the year.
And it's like, it sucks, but it's something. Whereas in the game Suikoden 2, Luca is just comically empty. There's just nothing to him.
Yeah.
Whereas in this, as in this, it's like just very basic, which is, I don't know if that's better or worse, but whatever.
And also hidden in a Japanese-only visual novel.
Yes. So it's just a scene. The second episode is just a bunch of scenes that should have been in Suikoden 2. The third is a really, really fucking good action scene where you're introduced to this cool ninja girl from Nash's backstory, and then they fight a wolf monster, and then he leaves and then has to fight 2 swordsmen, and it's really, really cool.
Okay, like, there are 2 things that this game has that I think are immediately interesting. Sleepy vampire girl and badass ninja girl. Why don't we just take the best of both worlds? Smush them together. One game. Boom. There it is.
There you go.
I just fixed the Suikoden problem.
The thing is that Nash is very good. I really like Nash.
I thought you were going to say smush them together and make Ninja Vampire Girl.
That's what I thought too.
That's also... and she likes pizza, and she delivers pizza and sleeping. We're just going to put all of the ninja girl tropes together into one girl.
Oh, that means her boobs are huge.
Gigantic!
That's all I know about ninja girls because of that one series. Oh, and Dead or Alive. I guess it's Senran Kagura and Dead or Alive have huge boob ninjas. So that definitely is a trope.
Absolutely.
There's a thing during the climactic confrontation with the vampire in Chapter 1 where Nash just nonchalantly says, like, I can feel the cursed swords on my back, trying to get me to draw them, but if I draw them, then I'll be overcome with bloodlust. And it's like, and then he beats the vampire without drawing the cursed swords, and it's like, oh shit, it's gonna be really cool when he draws those cursed swords.
Oh no.
Oh my god, this is my shit.
This is your sequel tease.
And then in Chapter 3, he draws the cursed swords, and it's really cool.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like an extensive setup. And then in Chapter 4 is just one of the tactics fights from Suikoden 2, but as like a 1-hour VN, and it's much better than all of the tactics fights in Suikoden 2, because it's a story.
The tactics fights in Suikoden 2 are garbage, of fucking course.
Yep. Nash basically like takes control of the situation by pretending to be one of the super genius, empty like Lelouch guys from the first 2 games. He's like, I'm actually this guy, and they're like, oh, I guess he is, and he's just like, well, all right, they trust me now, even though I was totally lying. So, but then there's actual like strategy and stuff, and it's like an actual battle scene, and then it completes, and there's a 1-minute resolution scene in which off screen the town you just saved falls, because that's what happens in Suikoden 2, and it's like, well, that was all for nothing, and then the end, to be continued. It's like, cool.
Well, I mean, I guess I can see it's not an obligation then, is what, because it's kind of
the best Suikoden game.
Because
it's much better than
it's better Suikoden game because there's literally nothing you have to actually engage with any of Suikoden's bullshit.
Yeah, there's none of the bad RPG. It's just story, and the problems with the Suikoden story are mitigated by the brevity and the episodicness.
He doesn't have... They don't give him enough rope to hang himself in all of these instances. Like, he gets close, it sounds like, but he's not able to jump down into the gallows, it sounds like.
He can't just write an actual, like, the end, though. It has to be, like,
It has to be separate stories, because, again, if you let any of his stories linger long enough, it's just going to, like I said, into the gallows.
And I mean, that's how Suikoden 1 and 2 are. They're just a bunch of episodic dicking around for most of the game. There's like an okay start, episodic dicking around where nothing happens, and then nothing happens at the end.
Oh, jeez.
It's great. I love it. So, best Suikoden game. Maybe 2 is going to be real good. Maybe it'll pay off all those little setups in a special way and be real satisfying. If so, I did grab Suikoden 3 in that sale. So, and Nash is a big part of it.
Oh wait, so all this is set up for 3, really?
Possibly? Nash is in 3, like as a major character. So sort of. So
because like you're saying how these are 4 kind of separate stories, but they're all featuring Nash, really.
Yes, it's all Nash's. It's all Nash. So it's not completely disconnected.
Yeah.
It just does not build like a through line beyond like, oh, I wonder what Nash's deal is. And I think it's that there's a dead woman in his backstory.
Oh well, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, why would
I mean, yeah. Oh yeah. We can really sling stones. I think any RPG that relies on dead woman backstories is just automatic.
Y'all are joking right now, right? Because there's a character that I was thinking of, just not knowing anything about Nash, that I'm like kind of picturing in my head right now. And then you said that, and it became crystal clear.
Yeah, I had somebody earlier today be like, FF6 has one backstory for its characters, and I was like, if you cannot comprehend the shades of nuance between Locke, Cyan, and Setzer's dead woman backstories, then that is on you and not the game. Thank you very much. They are very different, dead woman backstories. So that was the Suikoden adventure.
That
to be continued.
To be continued.
For now.
For now, anyway.
It doesn't even have credits. It just goes to be continued.
Oh, jeez.
Cuts to the opening intro. It feels unfinished. It's bizarre.
Ooh.
I think they made one game and then just split it in half for some reason. Maybe the lack of disk space. There's a lot of CGs. So basically, it's pretty well produced.
Suikoden and Knuckles.
There you go. Lock-on technology, playing both at the same time, and with Knuckles as the protagonist.
There's one other... Go ahead, Rhett.
There's scenes that Nash worms his way into, but if you have both versions, then Knuckles also worms his way in.
Yeah.
It's literally like, in this scene where the Suikoden 2 characters are disguised as guards, Nash was separately disguised as a guard.
And hanging out with them.
Just standing nearby, listening to them.
Oh my god!
Yeah, just finding all the sorts of weird, small ways we can sneak him in.
So it's like, very clearly like they just wanted to fix this scene from Suikoden 2, but they also wanted all 4 of them to have Nash in them. So they just
fudged it.
Just fudged it as much as they possibly could.
There's like 3. That whole episode is just like, all right, here are these like 3 classic scenes from Suikoden 2 that you all remember because they're so beautiful and memorable, and they're all waiting for Joey to get back right before he does some bizarre out of character shit and then fucks off for 20 hours. Yeah, I remember that great scene. I love Suikoden.
I would love if they actually secretly planned this all along. So, like, if you go back to those scenes in Suikoden 2, there's just a guard kind of standing off to the side that doesn't make sense.
It's very good. Oh my god, there's a lot of chat I missed out. I'll catch up. But yeah, at this point, I feel affection for Suikoden in the sense that it is like this, because the first game was literally based on shit he wrote in high school. Like, that's cute, right?
Yeah,
it's kind of cute.
That's like, I can get behind that because I mean, Hunters is literally everything Rhett wrote when Except from he was 4 until he was 32.
Excuse me, that's Project N3. Hunters was original.
Okay, that's right, yeah. But, like, I feel that those two are married in a sense.
Yeah.
I think they come from the same. They come from the same boyhood wonder place.
Jeez.
I need to play Xenogears and complete the trifecta because I think parts of that were based on the dude's high school fantasy story idea.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure Fate had the same thing.
I'm pretty sure that Xenogears is also better than Suikoden.
Yeah, it's probably Suikoden's the worst, then Xenogears, then Fate is the best.
Wait, why Fate? I thought you meant. I thought
Fate was Xenogears was based on some shit he wrote in high school, thought of in high school, and then I think the Fate route was based on shit Nasu started writing in high school.
Really? Not like Garden of Sinners?
I swear, like everything Nasu writes is something that he had written in high school. That's what it all comes across as.
Garden of Sinners and Tsukihime were before Fate, but I think that he like pulled that out of the woodwork. Like, all right, let's punch this up for this new thing.
Can you? Fate is so amazing to me because now you're saying it's based on this thing he wrote in high school, which is plausible, and now it's this $billion franchise because of that fucking mobile game.
Yes, exactly.
Zach points out that luck.
Zach points out that there is a GBA Suikoden card game. I noticed that it was in fact beautifully, lovingly fan translated.
Yep.
Legend of Heroes 2. Nope. Fate Extra CCC, the Heavens feel of Fate Extra. Nope. It's cool. The Suikoden card game that just retells the plot of Suikoden 2, but with card battles. That needed to be shared with the world. Thank you, fan translators.
Maybe it was easier, because it's already just Suikoden 2.
Oh, boy. One other thing. Hey, y'all. Guess what just resolved?
What
just ended? Literally like yesterday or today.
What?
The Tangled TV series just concluded.
Oh, jeez.
Right. Like, this was a weird thing because I didn't see it. I didn't see it even coming for you, and I was just like, why are you? What? When did I miss the John is on the Tangled train?
I will admit I had the same reaction.
Like, where did this come from out of fucking nowhere?
Well, I've really liked Tangled for a long time. That's like a Disney movie I like Frozen. And like, so when I see a new Disney movie, I'm like, oh, cool. This sucks. I wish they made a good one like Tangled or Frozen. So I really connected with that story. And then I saw clips of a song, and I found out that I'd heard of the Tangled TV series because I saw fan art, and then I saw that there was also a musical that they have big song numbers. I saw this
everything
really,
about this.
I saw like, and that's all I want on God's earth is some good musicals. And there aren't a lot of them because Disney forgot how to make them and how they're just doing all the live action shit. But now this, like, they have the little animated TV series off to the side and Disney's not paying attention so they can actually make it good. And when they have the big plot episodes with the music numbers, they're real good. It's like a good Disney movie. It's like a good thing. They have original character Do Not Steal, Cassandra, who is totally Rapunzel's best friend. Super best friend, super cool, amazing, awesome. And
like that one girl that got added in Railgun. What's her name? The flower crown girl.
Oh,
you know her.
Uiharu.
Yeah, Uiharu, the awful one who's just like, why do you exist?
Polly, you need to understand. She's mean. She's cool and mean. It's very good. It's not complicated. And she sings songs, and it's great. And then at the end of season 2, she betrays everybody, and it's very dramatic and very exciting, especially and out of nowhere. So that was the only thing I knew going into it, was that there's this very cool girl who betrays everybody at the end of season 2. And then I was like, all right, sure. And I got there, and it didn't disappoint.
You were so like kind of bored, it seemed, by season 2
like
until that happened.
Until that moment.
Into that.
It just seemed real. It seemed like a fucking slog.
So this is a show for 8-year-olds.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every time I load up clips on YouTube, I get ads for glitter makeup kits.
Oh my god!
and I feel a little bit called out. So this is sort of like basically the My Little Pony thing again, but it's Tangled. So it's a little grody. in that sense. But I really like Tangled, the movie, and this starts off real strong, and then it has a bunch of episodic dicking around, and unlike Steven Universe, the episodic bits are 10 minutes long. Like, I understand, I know Polly doesn't like that. I vibe with it. I like the town and the city, and the episodes are pretty good, and they're over quickly. They have to squeeze their little story about Sadie or whatnot into 10 minutes. The episodic stories in Tangled are 20 minutes long. And every time at like 12 minutes in, it's like, well, I know where this is going.
Yeah.
You could have chopped it. Could have chopped it right here.
Just kind of got to keep on watching, I guess. So it drags. There are way more episodes than there need to be for the story that they're telling, and I don't recommend it to adults.
Right.
Byron's apparently started watching it with his daughter, which is like, daughter? Yes, perfect.
Well, yeah, that would be the perfect company to watch something like that with.
Exactly, like small child, perfect. Songs are real good.
When you're enjoying something like that with its intended audience, I think that it's easier to kind of look past the bullshit in a way too. So
exactly.
When it's just John Thayer alone with a tub of peanut butter, shoving it in his mouth like his hand's a shovel, watching episodes of Tangled, just chain smoking him back and forth, back to back to back. Like, yeah, you're gonna run up into a bit of friction with the
nature of the show.
The nature of the show, right?
Yeah, but there is like an overarching plot, and it's dramatic and exciting, and that when they do it, it's good. Like they do a good job with it. So that keeps me going, and the finale just dropped, and I saw some freaking out on the timeline, and people seem to be pretty happy. So I'm pretty pleased.
But you're not caught up yet?
Not yet. So I didn't get to watch the finale.
Because the timing of you canceling your Disney Plus was like real confusing to me. I'm like, wait, isn't it about to end?
Yeah.
They don't have season 3 on Disney Plus because it's still going. Oh. So I have to steal it, and it's much less convenient to watch now, which has also slowed my momentum.
Yeah.
Because Disney Plus does the Netflix thing where you can download episodes to your phone and then watch it on the bus.
That's handy. That's handy.
Has everybody seen you watching the show on the bus?
I'm pretty bashful about it, so no.
So you're just saying in concept you could watch it on the bus, but you don't.
No, I do. No, I do. I just am a little bit like...
You are very careful with that phone.
Okay.
He has got that thing glued to his face. His hands are cupped around it.
like opening a Ret DM.
Exactly. Exactly.
Everyone's just huddled around or looking at you like, oh, he's keeping that phone real close to his face. He's looking at porn.
Look, y'all need to realize there are some real good songs. They're very good. And you can tell whenever they care about the episode they're making, because there are suddenly like 2 or 3 songs an episode, and then they'll go like 15 episodes without any songs.
That's a big stretch, John.
Yep. And those are the boring ones. And it's like, cool. Super cool. And you can't really skip them. They do. I mean, I wouldn't anyway, because that's not how my brain can't do that. Like, Prez talked about skipping all the filler Sailor Moon episodes, and I was like, that would make the show better. I can't.
Skipping the Sailor Moon filler episodes is called reading the manga.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, it's treating me good. It is for 8-year-olds. Don't watch it.
Don't watch it.
But it's real good. I'm gonna keep retweeting fan art and whatnot for the next couple weeks while I finish it up.
Hey, Tangled is in Kingdom Hearts 3, isn't it?
It is. I'm excited to play Kingdom Hearts 3.
That's the fucking reason you're watching this.
Mm-hmm. And this is sort of a personal note, but my ex-wife introduced me to Tangled, and a lot of my affection with that movie is kind of tangled up with that.
Tangled. I get it, because that's the name of the thing, but it's also the thing that you are.
Yeah. So it's sort of a
detox.
It's sort of an exercise in like, okay, I made some nice memories.
Yeah, like I don't have to associate this thing with this terrible, awful human being of a fucking toxic waste dump. Has sullied. I can enjoy it on my own terms, on its own merits, and create my own good time with it.
Yeah, and even then, like, my ex introduced me to Sweet Code.
Oof! Big oof!
but it's like, oh yeah, I had good times with this movie with this person. I can still appreciate those memories and kind of build off them with this fun experience.
Recontextualize the whole thing. Make it your own, girl.
Yeah, and guess what? It's much better than Frozen 2. It's not very hard. It's much better than Frozen 2. Colin said Suikoden again, and I did want to say I was building up to, with me saying I had some affection for Suikoden. I'm realizing now that it is in the exact same part of my brain as Symphogear.
Oh,
where I can like enjoy this like Suikoden media and like play this VN and like enjoy reading about it and enjoy hearing people be excited about it, even when the actual experience was just the slog. So
no, like, I actually understand completely what you mean now, because like I'll send you fan art of certain characters like Miku, and you'll be like, yes, I love her. I hate watching the show, but I
love her. I bet he has to contextualize that every time.
No.
It's like, yes, I love her so much, but the show's still fucking hot garbage.
I think I'm pretty good about. I think I'm pretty chill.
Yeah.
I want to keep the DMs coming because they're very nice.
Keep the DMs coming. That sounds like all of the DM sessions I'm in Rhett with. Ha ha! Sex joke.
It's not even coming. It's not even scandalous. It's just like cute art of characters I love. I like. Yeah. The character I like.
No plural there.
Yep. Rhett.
Oh boy.
What have you been up to?
I finished a little game we talked about last week called Fire Emblem Awakening.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me strap in. Let's get to the good stuff. Woo. All right.
Okay, y'all are going to be let down. This isn't going to be nearly as ridiculous as last time.
That was so funny last time, Rhett. It was so good.
Yeah. So basically, I completely burned myself out in the game during doing that nonsense.
You could have guessed.
So, because I played like the first third of it 3 times. So basically, I had finally decided to play on hard mode classic. And I stuck to that. I never went back. But then I did like one more mission to kind of wrap up the first arc, and I got Lucina in the party, and I was like, hell yeah. And I had just completely lost motivation for playing the game. Because it's like they wrap up the big war that's going on and then skip like into the future, and then it's just like, oh no, it's time for another war. And we're going to go across the ocean now, and there's a whole new continent of war for us to fight against. And the story's really just kind of there in this game, huh?
Yeah. No, Rhett, Lucina's arc is so beautiful.
Told in the last, like, 5 missions.
And Robin's arc? Oh my god, Rhett, she faces down her evil family. It's very moving.
I wonder if I didn't get some of the Lucina stuff, or you're just...
No, it's mostly the Robin. It's mostly the Robin stuff.
Yeah, the Robin stuff definitely exists.
I like that stuff. The thing is, like, don't they spend like most of the like 15 chapters at war with this one guy, and it's just completely separate from the main plot?
That's the thing. Is like the first. So these numbers aren't going to be exact, but it's like the first 11 are like the whole first war. Then like 11 through 20 are the second war, and then like 20 to 25 is the end of the game. And like that's when it actually has a story. But the problem is like, so I got Lucina and then kind of lost interest in the game because I had been burning myself out doing the first third 3 times over. And I picked it back up and I just paired her with Rhett for the whole rest of the game so that they could get married. And
did it work?
Oh yeah, it worked. I posted a fucking video
for the benefit of our listeners.
Yes, I married Lucina, and it was like incredibly flat, basically.
Like every relationship in that game.
That's exactly every relation. Because the S ranks just come out of nowhere is the problem.
Yeah,
because you can get up to A rank with anybody even after getting married. So like the writing can't be too implicitly romantic. So then when you get to the S rank, it's just like, oh, anyways, I'm proposing now. Like it just kind of jumps there.
4 sentences, and you're married.
Yep. And now kids have teleported in from the future.
So I didn't process until this week that if you can marry Crom, in which case you become Lucina's mom.
Not as the same Robin though. You have to be female Robin to do that.
Yeah. So you can play this game and have Lucina either be your daughter or your wife.
Yes. So, and this was the one game ever to make me play as a guy because I wanted the wife option.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. So that was my arc with the game. Was like, oh, this ending is nice. This climax is fine. You fight on the back of a dragon, and
that part's pretty good.
It's good, yeah. And then the middle half of the game is just nothing.
It's not even. It's like the middle 75%. It's a lot of the game.
It's just indefensible. I don't understand it.
Like the war arc just kind of goes nowhere, especially the second one, where it's just like, oh, I got Tiki now. She's cool, I guess. I like the mission that you have to recruit her in because she's just in the middle of the map, like doing nothing or like channeling or something, and you have to defend her. And it's really hard because enemies just keep rushing in, and like they will shoot over your units to hit her. So I opened up like Flash to just draw the grid out and like figure out exactly how to position all my units like one tile away from her in a circle so that they couldn't just shoot over mine.
Oh.
So I just had this ring around her and like trying to figure out, okay, I've got this many units, this many spaces I want to fill. How do I, have the best coverage?
Right.
And
Excellent.
So I did that, and then I beat it the next try. I was like, okay, that was actually kind of fun for once.
Yeah, how the fighting treat you?
The problem is I don't really like it as a tactics game, I realized.
See, that could have been the saving grace.
Yeah.
That could have been the saving grace for the bad story, huh?
Because that's what I had even figured out by the last podcast, is where like I kept restarting because I was so desperately trying to enjoy the strategy part, where I didn't want to just walk through it. But then even then, you kind of just walk through it. Because the problem is, so like everyone plays this game like not letting anybody die, and when you do that, you just end up with a bunch of superpower.
Yeah, you end up with super units, and it's literally a cakewalk.
Yeah,
even on hard classic.
I mean, I'm sure on Lunatic the game will like completely have its way with you.
Yeah.
But I'm not that crazy for a first fucking playthrough. Because I see all these people like on the forums, when you get into the min-maxing of like, oh, you have to marry Crom to this person so Lucina will learn Gale Force. That lets her move again after killing an enemy, and it's the best skill in the game.
Which is pretty grisly, right? Like, imagine you two need to fuck so that your kid can have this ideal skill so that they can be useful in combat. It's pretty grisly.
Yeah, so you don't have to engage with that at all on even hard mode, where it's like, you level up, it's fine, you'll get skills. The fact that the level up points are kind of randomized is also a bummer.
Yeah, that's like a thing that kind of like, that's like I remember watching After 5 do a it was a stream of I think it was Radiant Dawn, and he was going for basically a perfect run, and it's literally like, if you get a level up and it's bad, reset.
Oh god.
Oh, that's hell.
Yeah, he did a whole playthrough like that, and it's just like, God bless him, but man, that's rough. Nobody wants to sit there and do that.
Apparently, people want to sit there and do that, though.
I mean, apparently they do it, but it's just like, man, I can't imagine. Like, and it's fine, like, if you're watching that as a stream, and because, I'm there engaging with the stream and having a good time, but, like, as playing the game itself, as being the one that has to do that, oh my god! Like when I was doing the Persona 3 stream, someone mentioned that like if you there's a mechanic where if you use the bathroom during the day, you might end up in great condition, so you can go to Tartarus at night and be in top shape. And they were like, well, if you don't get it, you can just reload. And it's just like, dude, it would take literally a minute to a minute and a half to get back to doing that again.
Yeah. My favorite thing is that the characters will comment on the level up.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like, if they get like 8 stats up, they're like, oh man, I feel amazing. I even impressed myself. And like, the character that kept having the bad level ups was, of course, Sumia.
Of course.
So I'm at the end of the game and she levels up and like, ding, I only get like 1 stat up, and she just goes, I can't do anything right. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I love you, but...
You're like, yeah, same.
Caring, she was like the character I insist. Like basically, anybody. Towards the end of the game, I started letting characters die because I was kind of just trying to push through to the end.
You're just over it at some point.
So that was the real tragedy with this, is that I got through like 75% of the game, and right when the story got good is when I decided to be like, anyways, I don't give a shit anymore. I'm just going to push through to the end.
Oof.
So like John asking like, so did any of that land for you? And I'm like, not really. I was kind of just trying to beat the game on that Sunday.
God.
So like
it's like the worst feel with any game ever is when it's just like, I don't really feel anything about this. I just want to get it done.
Yeah, because I definitely was never going to not finish it, but I was like...
It's literally like every person that's ever played They Bleed Pixels. It's like, I don't care about this. I just want it done.
Well, that's one game I did drop.
Podcast.
Pardon?
The Anti-They Bleed Pixels podcast. That's the whole point.
Yeah. So the thing I realized, though, is that because these are characters, having them die sucks, and you don't get anything out of it, like, interesting story-wise.
No, it's just they have a thing they say, and that's it.
They have one line of dialogue.
They have a line of dialogue they say to make you feel bad.
Yeah. So basically, at the end of the game, after you beat the whole thing, there's a whole, like, you know, at the end of like 80s comedy montage where it says like, and then they went on to do this, and then this character went on to do this.
Forever.
Mine in Fire Emblem Awakening was basically empty because enough characters had died in the finale.
Holy shit!
That's very funny.
Even characters that don't actually die, like, because all the women just retreat from battle because they still have to have kids, which is also its own layer of kind of fucked up. So like, all of them were like, oh, this character was killed in this battle. Oh, this woman was, retreated in this battle. So they're all empty, including Lucina's, which really bummed me out.
Oof.
Because the last battle is like, just completely fuck it. Where it's just like, here's the final boss, you're right in front of him, but then there's like a billion enemies spawning in constantly.
So you rush.
So I rushed it. And then I'm like, okay, I got the boss down to like half health. Boy, am I completely fucked when these enemies get a turn. And then a whole bunch of characters got offed. But then not, Crom and Rhett, so they just went and finished the game. And I'm like, well. Like, it's more fun when XCOM does something like that, because then it becomes your personal story.
Yeah.
Rather than there just being actual dialogue that you miss out on.
Yeah, yeah.
The other one thing that really bummed me out is that the game makes it very clear that there are two endings, depending on if Crom kills the final boss or if Robin kills the final boss. So I'm watching that turn where everybody's getting, ripped to shreds by the enemy, but I've got Crom and Robin right next to the final boss, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to have Crom attack first, and he might get a crit. He might just do it.
He might.
But he's going to leave the boss with like 4 HP according to this if he doesn't crit. And then Rhett will be able to finish the final boss and get the ending I want. Crom hits, doesn't get a crit. I'm like, okay, Rhett's going to do the thing. And I do the thing. And then the game goes into cutscene mode and a box pops up that says, let Crom get the final hit.
Oh, that's so stupid!
It's just icky. It's just
so inelegant and awful.
Because that's the kind of thing where you could tie your story and your play together in a cool way, and then you just don't.
They just literally don't. They just let you choose. And I was just really kind of deflated by that. So I click no, I get the ending I want, but the one I should have already had earned.
Right. Oh my god. That's real fucking dumb.
It's real goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the thing I just don't like about the strategy is that the enemies have no sense of self-preservation because the game just throws.
Yeah, there are so many enemies in those games. They just kind of throw them at you in big swarms, and they have very easy to determine aggro priorities. And once you know how to game it, it's real easy.
They kill your mages first, then they kill the archers. Yeah. So I didn't use any mages or archers. There's one where some of the later missions do get more interesting because at a point, for the first kind of 2/3 of the game, you can really just tank a lot of it.
Right.
Just hang back and like funnel them into like a narrow area and just let them walk at you, and then have your strongest characters just meat grinding them basically. Like, the other thing is that like there's no area of effect stuff like at all, period. And I think that's kind of one of my favorite things in strategy games. It's like launching an attack on like the perfect set of tiles so that it hits all enemies but none of your guys. And the fact that I was using all melee characters and like had no mages basically except for Robin was also a little made things very samey, because just okay, I'm just going to walk up to this thing and I'm going to have a spear, a sword, or an axe, and yep,
easy peasy.
Easy.
And one of them beats the other, and the other beats the other, and the other beats the other.
I guess like that system never seemed to really fully work like it wanted to.
And they're still using it. I think they ditched it in Three Houses, maybe.
I think the new one actually doesn't have it.
That's probably for the best.
The true tragedy of all this is like having kind of this real mediocre experience with this game, and then looking at Three Houses and be like, "Oh my god, it's so pretty! It's so pretty!
It's pretty, but it suffers from a lot of the same dumb narrative bullshit." Like I listened to a podcast that kind of elaborated on where that game goes narratively, and I was
but it's fully voiced.
Yeah,
it's long.
It's really.
Is it really long if you do only one arc?
It's still longer than Awakening.
Really long.
But it's also like there's like 3 or 4 arcs in it.
Yeah, I'm sure
only one of them really matters, though.
Oh,
is that the one where you pick the cool girl?
I think so. Like all I know is that the podcast that I listened to said that one of the arcs is very important and includes a very important character that is very vital to the story, so they get a lot of screen time and development. The other arcs do not feature this at all, and it just feels really hastily thrown together.
Oh,
cool.
So I've got to play the game 3 times to figure out which one. Poncho in chat says 80 hours
for one arc.
Holy fuck. It's like they've listened to the feedback from Fates, which was 3 games, and they said, okay, we're just going to put the 3 games into one this time. Fine.
Yeah. And then 2 of them aren't as good.
But you should ask which 2.
Yeah. I all I'd have to do is just queue up the podcast and understand and hear it again, but I was just like, I don't care about Three Houses in the least.
Nope. I like Bernie. I'll enjoy the fan art, and that's it.
Yeah, Bernadetta is great.
Hashtag I like Bernie.
Yep. Yeah.
So I can see myself playing that game in the future, though, but not right now. I'm a little gun shy right now.
Yeah.
I just want to play the GameCube one. I'll get there at some point.
Those are good.
Yeah. So they don't do the thing where the story stops for 3/4 of the game?
Well... Look, it's fucking Fire Emblem writing, and it's terrible. What do you expect?
All right, cool.
I truly think that people have said that Three Houses has better writing.
It's so long. I can't believe a 150-hour game has an actual good story. No, wait.
I mean, if you make Trails in the Sky in the one game...
I can't believe a 150-hour Fire Emblem game has a good story. There.
Okay, Fire Emblem game adding some more qualifiers, so that definitely makes the situation a little better.
I mean, apparently Three Houses isn't really made by Intelligent Systems. Like, it seems like, I think it was Tecmo or, I don't know, some other sub-company that did, like, the majority of it.
Weird. It would take so much trust. I would have to build up with a dev.
And I have watched so much of that game to know that it's just like, I don't give a fuck.
Okay, that's fair. I've seen like 30 seconds on YouTube, and I went, "Ooh, it's really pretty."
Yeah, like I've watched people stream it. Friend Doles is streaming it, and I've been watching him play it, and it's just like, man, this is boring as fuck.
Oh, but you can play it on the TV and not the fucking handheld system.
I don't even care.
So I'm not playing Three Houses. I did pick up another game, though, and I didn't immediately realize the extremely funny coincidence.
Oh, no.
I picked up Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
Oh,
Sharp FE.
Yeah?
And then, like, 5 minutes in, I'm like, oh right, this is a Fire
This
Emblem
is a Fire Emblem
Fuck!
game.
Fuck, I fucked up. Oh my god! Like I literally didn't even remember that part. It makes the same level up sounds when you get a level, like ding ding ding, and I think it's somewhat randomized too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I'm not very far in this yet. This is why I'm kind of just tacking it on because of one extremely funny moment. I went into this game knowing like almost zero about it. I knew there's a girl named Tsubasa and she has glasses or not. That's basically my entire knowledge of that game going into it.
That's our entire fucking timeline when that game came out.
It's such a weird prompt. It's the second thing they ask you.
Yeah.
They go, what difficulty do you want to play on? Does Tsubasa wear glasses or not? You don't even know Tsubasa at this point.
Yeah, you don't even know who she is.
You don't even get a picture for reference. And they let you change afterwards anyways. But anyways, I go into this game like 99% blind. And I get into the first dungeon and like there's this like you're being chased by like kind of specters, like these guys in like big robes and stuff. And one of them like turns good because of the power of your song. It's very simple here.
Oh yeah, but like this is exactly the reason I thought you picked this game up. Like why it finally won you over.
Somebody said it's very much Simple Gear. But anyway, so you turn one of the specters good, and he's kind of got this heavy cloak and some armor and like kind of glowing yellow eyes. So he's clearly not human-ish. And then he goes, "Oh hi, I'm Crom." And I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Like, the odds of me hitting the same character 2 games in a row was so fucking confusing. I was just like, oh, right. And then, like, because this is an older Wii U game, like, I think Awakening was probably the most recent one at the time. Yeah. So there's nothing from the newer ones. Definitely not Three Houses. I don't think there's anything from Fates in here.
Nothing from Fates, no.
So then I looked it up, like, are there other Awakening characters in here? And there are. and there are also characters I didn't use, which is kind of the bummer.
You didn't use the mean, creepy mage girl that everyone loves?
I never used Starja because every time I tried to field her, the enemies would just run up to her and kill her in one hit. I literally couldn't use a mage in that game without them just dying immediately.
But you could just master everybody with your melee characters, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I would have used Starja if I could just have her hide behind Robin, but Lucina was hiding behind Robin. The other thing, absolute final thing that I hate about Awakening is that when the enemies get reinforcements, they will just appear on the field and immediately get a turn and an attack.
Oh, right!
Oh, that's rough.
It's so fucking bad. I don't understand it. I don't understand like how it is so mean with that. And the game loves to spawn on characters on like riding mounts, like the flying mounts, and just have them move
strategize around it.
Yeah, so they will just appear, move like 8 spaces to wherever the fuck they want, and start attacking your back line and just kill people. And it's just like, what the fuck? So that's why I got so into tanking just like on the corner of the maps, because you ain't gonna get me that way.
Yeah.
And they will like spawn and then like automatically like reposition around you.
Yeah.
Like you can't spawn block them unless they're on stairs or something.
Yeah, they've always got a way to kind of to spawn in.
It's crazy. It's so mean.
You also pointed out something I'd never noticed, but there are no AoE spells, right?
Yeah.
So it's just all single attacks, basically.
It's just been that way with Fire Emblem for a while, though.
Yeah,
that's right.
I think that's
been like that.
Yeah, it's been a long.
I think Red pointed out that it's always been like that. It's just that you didn't like that as much compared with like tactics or whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play the Joan of Arc SRPG. That's
Jeanne d'Arc. That game's good. I liked it.
Yeah, I'm really excited to play it. I've got to play it on my Vita.
See, we've got our things. You say a game is like Simple Gear, I'll pick it up. You say a game has Joan of Arc in it, John will pick it up.
My thing was like Idea Factory, I guess. Like I would just keep trusting them. Whoops.
Yeah, you got Falcom. We all have Falcom.
Now we have Falcom, so I will literally always trust Falcom. So that would be my thing.
I think your thing was like if they put a ninja in it.
If they put a ninja in it, I'm probably gonna get it. That was another thing too.
Yeah.
I had a thing for ninjas for a long time. Still do.
Still do. But that's my Fire Emblem journey, I guess.
Damn.
Because it's ongoing.
It's still ongoing. We've got like 2 ongoing sagas this season on the Sockscast.
Fire Emblem Saga.
We've got the A and B storyline.
Jeez. Part of me when I beat Awakening was like, okay, now I need to actually go do the ending right and like not have everybody die. And I just don't give a shit.
Just don't give a shit. It's like when when I was playing Cold Steel 3 and the game was whooping my ass, and like at the end of a fight I'd have 3 characters on the ground and like 1 character limping through to the finish line. I was like, I could probably do that using less items, or I could just continue on and not worry about it.
Well, that's not going to affect the story, though, is the thing.
No.
But then I realized since I let characters die in like the prior 2 missions, like they ain't coming back.
That's not, yeah.
It's especially brutal when it's like, oh, the husband died, and then the wife unit, falls out, and then immediately gets one-shotted, and so she's gone too, and I'm like, fuck.
Jeez. It's always a bloodbath with you in those games.
Yeah.
I don't recall your XCOM games being as meat grindery.
I mean...
You tended to see it, like I've never really heard you have anything go completely tits up in the way that fucking Fire Emblem has fucking wrecked you.
It's not that a Fire Emblem wrecked me. I think it's just I have some screenshots of XCOM that it's like every single unit comes back like severely wounded. Mm-hmm. But that's the thing. That had the wounded mechanic. Yeah. So you could actually recover from a unit getting their ass kicked because they didn't always die. In Fire Emblem, they always die.
Yeah.
There's a huge difference there.
Yeah.
Like in XCOM, you only really lose units in like the first kind of third of the game but once you start getting ranks, their odds to survive.
They start getting it's like they get an extra roll or something to see.
They go drastic up.
Yeah. They drastic go up.
Yeah. You got a 33 third and a third chance mixed with a 25% chance.
Fucking Steiner math on my podcast. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
You always do.
I don't know. I just think having XCOM just feels way more organic about building that crew of like your 6 really strong characters that won't actually ever die.
Yeah.
Because I definitely lose a couple like in the first few missions, and you just move on at that point.
You kind of have to.
Yeah. So, Paulie, what you been up to?
Wait, what have you been up to? I ain't fucking been up to much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Does having 2 teeth pull out of my head count?
Yeah.
Only 2?
That's fun. Yeah, I've got to get the other 2 done later, probably this month.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that was fun. It was good because I realized that into the healing process, I was like, wait a minute, I can only eat soft foods. It doesn't matter if they're sugary or not, motherfucker. I can eat yogurt and ice cream for an entire day if I wanted to, and I fucking did. I fucking did, and it was glorious. And that's like the only reason I'm looking forward to getting the other side taken care of. It's just like, wait a minute, I get to have another day of my choosing to just eat yogurt and ice cream. Dude, I'm living the fucking life here. and all it costs is having 2 things pulled out of my head that were hurting anyway.
There you go.
Let's see, what else have I been doing? Does trawling around like shady German websites looking for out of print original vinyl pressings count?
Huh.
What, Polly?
A singer-songwriter I grew up listening to, named Jim Croce. I grew up I grew up. This is so old. I grew up listening to it from my dad's collection. And does any of you kids know what an 8-track tape is?
I know what it is, kind of.
I do not.
Yeah, I have. I still have it too. It's this big blue tape of Jim Croce's Life and Times album, and I just kind of always kept it, obviously, because it was an important part of my musical growth, and I think it's like it's kind of cool to pull out a thing and say, look at this thing from 1972. This thing is old. But given that he's kind of one of my favorite singer-songwriters, and I have all of his material on CD and stuff, so it's not a big deal. But like, I want vinyl pressings because vinyl, like especially with old music like that, like you want that to have the warmest kind of feel that you can get to it. And given that he's largely like a kind of like soft folk rock artist that is largely acoustic, you want that sounding real good and warm. And so what I've been trying to do is track down original pressings from like 1972, 73, and like the US pressings, which is like, oh shit, those are like $70 pop, 80, 90? Yeah. Fuck, I can find a German one for $16 and it's wrapped and the quality's good. Fantastic. Let's do that. But yeah, like that was one thing that I got into. So yeah, I'm still trying to track down a copy of I Got a Name if anybody's got it. And I don't want a modern pressing because for some reason they loudness ward this shit when they when they remastered his shit to vinyl, and it makes me. They loudness ward it. They compressed it, so there's no there's no dynamics in acoustic recording.
Oh my god!
It just sounds terrible. It's just like, I don't want that. So that's why I'm trying to find original pressings of all of his albums, and the only one that I don't have right now is I Got a Name. I was able to find the other four, thankfully. Yeah, like the one that I just picked up is the German pressing of You Don't Mess Around with Jim, and yeah, that was good. That's the only thing. That's something only I will care about. So let's see, what else?
I enjoyed it.
It never occurred to me that they would loudness wars a record.
Yeah, like
that just seems like so ill-informed to why people buy those things.
Yeah,
now.
Yeah. Like I went to look them up because I had noticed that they were repressed. I think back in 2012, I want to say. And when I looked up the reviews on them, people were like, "Yeah, they just loudness ward this shit. They compressed it. It's way louder than the original pressings. Like the songs don't have any dips or valleys. It's just a fucking sound brick." It's like, that is not how I want to fucking listen to that music, because it's very warm, it's very intimate music, and that is exactly how I want it to sound. So yeah, so that's been a fun little adventure. Yeah, if anybody out there has got a copy of I Got a Name from 1973, you want to unload, give me a call. Shoot me an email. Let's see what else I played.
That's what I could ask my mom, because she has all these 75 old vinyls.
Hey, you know what? I will pay her for it.
All right, what would you call it? It was I Got a Name.
I Got a Name by Jim Croce.
Jim Croce. Cool.
I actually have a bunch of albums in the basement. I 99% don't think this one is in here.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I played a game by one of our new friends.
Ooh.
I streamed it, actually.
Good.
I played through a cute little itch.io game by June Flower called Remnants. This is a cute top-down RPG maker game where you run around this place that's been kind of just abandoned and dead. And it's got that adventure game thing going on, kind of like I, the Somnium Files did, where literally everything is clickable and there's dialogue for fucking everything. That is this game. If you come to games for that kind of exploration and you want to get your explore on, this is the game to absolutely do it. John, drop a link in the chat.
Sure
for
thing.
The game too, while you're at it. But the cool thing about this game is, and the draw of it is, its art style. It is absolutely labored over pixel art. Like, every screen is a unique piece of art. RPG Maker typically works in a tile-based system where you tile up a room, and those tiles usually have, the collision code and stuff already set in, or you can just set that. And things obviously look and repeat in the same ways that you would expect from a 16-bit RPG. This game uses a different system, however, where it only uses tiling for collision, and it's that collision is then overlaid over June's art. So every screen is its own unique piece of art. So, and there are some animated objects in the world that are made in the game. But for the most part, everything in the game is its own unique create. Like when I got to the motherboard room in particular, was where I was just kind of like, you pixel by pixeled every single fucking part of this. And it was absolutely insane. It's just, but it lends the game to having a very unique look, and it's always exciting to go to a new room. Not only because of you're learning more about what's going on, but just like what's the next cool piece of art to get that I get to look at. Like in particular, the best moment of that night was riding down an elevator and ending up in John Thayer Hornyland, where it's just like, oh look, body horror. Okay, I know what we're at. There's fucking teeth and mouths and guts everywhere. Dog, like I was on floor 1 like an hour ago, and there was just like skateboards and pop cans. What the fuck?
And doesn't like lean too hard on it. Like
no, it doesn't. It's not like
it's very cool.
There is a tone with which this character is observing the world around them that really kind of keeps it from kind of like being a horror game or anything like that. It's not like 100% whimsical, but it's also not like uniform. Like it's a very good tone for
rats.
Yes, rats. It's a very good tone for what they were going for, and kind of gives you like the character you get a little bit of the character from all of those interactions that they have, because it's just you and the environment and kind of soaking all of that in as you kind of trudge toward the ending. And it's an ending, like I saw the ending coming. I'll admit I saw the ending coming, but it was still pretty satisfying as an overall experience. Just kind of like living in that world, immersing yourself into someone's art, and just so much of it at once, because it's just literally like this game is almost just an art gallery for what they're capable of as pixel artists. And I think this game, like even if you only play it for that, I think this game is definitely worth looking at just from that point of view. Like if you want to just kind of be bedazzled by some really fucking pretty pixel art, like this is a game to go for. Like I've not played a game that I thought was just like this charming and pretty and so super consistent in its art style, and just this dedication for everything to be a unique asset is just like, yeah, that's really strong. And just like overall top to bottom, the package is really, really good.
There's a bunch of cool tricks there that to make it feel like a place and not just a picture.
Yes.
Like we observed a bunch of those, like little sound effects, little changes with your sprite.
Yep.
Foreground elements, and all the text, of course, that just makes it like an interactable. Every little thing is interactable.
Yeah.
It's really smart.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite. Like just kind of like, here's an explory place, go have fun, and like even if the narrative may not land for most, like I still think that again, like just because it has such a tremendous and unique identity, it's worth it just to kind of experience that.
And it's free.
And like I think that like playing things like this is also really good if you're trying to get into RPG Maker development yourself and you want an idea of like what good maps are. Holy shit, this is a game full of real good fucking maps.
They're such pretty maps.
They're pretty maps. They're very well put together. They feel good to move around in. It's so smart top to bottom. I really like it. It's Remnants. Check it out on itch.io.
Hey, Polly.
Yo.
I was jealous after that stream.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I don't remember the last time I felt jealous. But I was like, I went into that. I played Remnants right before the stream, and I was like, I hope June's okay. Gonna be okay, because, Polly doesn't really like weird RPG Maker games. She just doesn't like those, So I'll compliment June. It'll be okay. But then you really liked it. And you know what that means, Polly? It means it's not that you don't like weird artsy RPG Maker games. It's that you didn't like mine.
Well, you see, June's game, while also being housed in RPG Maker 2003, has no combat. It doesn't use RPG Maker's 2003's bad combat system. I'm sorry.
It's a big difference.
There's a big difference. Like, this is a game where it's explory, it's contemplative, it's very pretty, and it ain't got RPG Maker 2003's battle system.
And it doesn't have door mazes.
It doesn't have door mazes. I was waiting for some kind of door maze. I was waiting for some kind of arbitrary puzzle or some weird
maze.
Teleporter maze. Nope.
It's restrained and classy the whole time. It's super fucking fantastic.
It is.
Actually. So good.
Love this game.
I think it's great. So I threw myself into my project I hadn't touched in a couple months. I was like,
I'll show you.
So I've got my new spite motivation.
There you go. Look, man, sometimes spite motivation is all you need.
Oh, it's one of the best ones.
It's honestly one of the best motivations ever.
Oh, it's one of the best ones. Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say like feeling jealousy though because artistic ability, something we all lack.
Yeah.
No, specifically because
I got a real case of pixel envy.
Yeah.
I played it earlier than that. It was fine. I was like, oh, this is lovely. I love this. This is so cool.
So you played it twice before my stream?
I played it before the stream.
Oh, okay.
So I wanted to experience it for myself, kind of, and then get your vibe on it.
Because I didn't know that you had played it before you played it.
I played it that day. Like, literally, like,
so that was when you first played it.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought that you replayed it before my stream to get yourself into the right mood.
Mm-hmm.
No. So that was your first time. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I had a really good time with it. I really liked it a lot.
It's super good.
Mm-hmm. Don't take any of that like in any way. Actually.
Oh, absolutely not.
It's very funny.
Yeah, I think that. I just love that you going into that stream was just like, don't worry, I'll be the one to make sure.
That June feels okay.
Yeah, that June's gonna be okay under this harsh criticism of very stupid Polly who only knows how to press a button to shoot things and can't appreciate fucking words.
Can't appreciate the word RPG Maker game. Obviously, I'll be here. It was very funny. I was like, oh god, she really likes this actually. Oh shit.
No. Oh no. Like you're fucking. I would love to see a graph of your entire mood from the start of that stream to the fucking end.
So anyway, the next one does have fighting. I'm sorry. Has fighting. I'm leaving in the ATB thing so you can set it to wait. So it's nice. It's a little bit nicer. I'm going to make it not quite as in your face, like immediately fast.
I was going to make it a child's video game.
It's going to be a much smoother curve. So maybe you'll vibe with it. If you don't, it's fine. I don't care. I'm making this for me. That's cool.
There you go.
Thank you, June, for making a lovely game.
Yes, thank you, June, for making a lovely game. It's been a pleasure getting to know June over the course of having met on the podcast the last time. Saying, man, we sure hate Katana Zero, that game you really like.
I felt so bad for that. Like,
I know,
no,
like it's like their first stream here, and they're just like, oh, hey, hi, welcome to the stream. I'm gonna shit all over everything you love.
And then your game, of course, because I don't like RPG Maker games.
Yeah, like I totally would never like that. I'm gonna stream this and make fun of it. That's what the cool kids do, right?
I didn't expect that. I expected you to like have that kind of like, all right, I'm gonna keep being nice, but you know, it's not really my thing. It's not really my jam. But you know, I'll be nice.
I just keep imagining you sitting there, that smile on your face shrinking every second. Like with every new room I go to, just a little more frowny John.
And not knowing what the feeling was.
Yeah, not like understanding it. Like something,
I don't understand.
Something's happening here, and I don't know how to process all of it right now.
Life is good. Up to anything else?
Well, that depends. Does anybody else have anything else?
Yeah.
You do? All right, well, let's take a 5-minute break, and then we'll throw it around the horn one more time.
Cool. Sounds good to me.
We'll be back in 5 minutes, y'all.
Hello.
Be there in just a mo.
Got it. I'll play with my dongles all I want. Man, Windows notifications will always give you away. You're trying to be away on break, have music playing, but no, it's still going to pick up those system sounds when you're playing with your dongle. Just how it goes.
You earned 100 poly points.
You did, didn't you? You probably did.
I got 3,350 now.
That's so many points! Somebody.
What's the destroy thing? There's something that's 2,500.
Oh, that is Destroy Sacred Mikey at RC Pro-Am.
Okay.
That can only be redeemed once per stream, and I have to do it at the end of the stream. But Sacred Mikey cheats at RC Pro-Am to beat it. So basically, this is me being better at him, even when I'm bad at it. There's no seriously, it's just a dumb way to use points. Like what else am I gonna do with this dumb shit? Hey, you get extra content at the end of a stream. You can't really knock that. That's value. You can only be redeemed once per stream, though. So. That's why I was playing with my dongles. I had to make sure my controller was plugged in.
Nice.
Hello, friends.
Hello.
Oh, and plugged in. All right, we're all good.
All right.
Got my tea. That's the important thing.
That's the most important.
I've been drinking
John Fire.
lemon now, and it's just making me so happy. It tastes so good. I've actually prepared black tea with lemon for the first time since I was like in middle school, and it needs like half as much sugar to taste good to me. I don't know why.
Oh, weird.
So it's like, oh, this is a shortcut to being healthier. Maybe killing fewer of my teeth. So I still like the milk tea. I actually don't use milk. I use half and half, so it's extra fatty and delicious. And then I put in a bunch of sugar, so it's like, this is just a tasty drink.
Yeah, that's just tasty water.
Mm-hmm. It's real good. So, no, it definitely tastes different because of the tea. So, you can ask me something, Polly.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you what else you've been doing, John. What else?
We are doing a podcast.
We are doing a podcast. Yeah. As much as I would love to be regaled by your tales of the tea that you drink, there's business to be taken care of. Yeah,
that was the content. I don't know what you're talking about.
that was the content.
That was the kind of digression that our listeners are here for.
Oh, that's absolutely, I'm sure.
Well, they were going to be talking about the classic John drinking lemon with his tea bit.
Oh man.
Like every episode.
20 years later, man.
They're gonna be
people are going to look back at that. They're going to be like, yeah, I felt that. I felt that.
I felt that in my bones.
Yep.
Was the truth of John's tea words. Let's start with a video game. And
Okay.
I'll reel them in and then back.
Reel them in before you toss them overboard. See, I like anytime that I talk about music, I'm doing it fucking wrong. Because I always talk about the music first, and then they're like, oh, fuck, I'm out of here. And then, yeah, you're probably handling this podcasting a little smarter than I am.
I just wanted to note that I'm about 15 hours into Tales of Vesperia.
I literally have for the last week or more. It's for the last week or more. I have my PS4 in standby on the title screen for that game.
Oh, jeez.
I have like 3 friends playing it. It's like everyone decided, like, well, this is it.
Yeah, like I will be joining those ranks. I will be joining those ranks.
Including multiple friends where it's their first Tales game, which is true for me. I've never touched a Tales game. I've never booted one up even. Like, I barely looked at footage of any of them. Like, if you asked me to describe a Tales game, I would have been at a loss. Like, you're in an arena, little action fighty bit. Mm-hmm. That's Tales, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of its claim to fame is usually, we got anime stereotypes and an action battle system kind of thing.
Yep. That was my understanding. Yeah, right.
So why Vesperia and why now for like a bunch of people?
Yeah, because I feel like when you consider our group I feel like Berseria and Symphonia come up way more and are more fondly remembered.
Symphonia is difficult to play.
Yeah.
The PS3 version halves the frame rate, I think.
Yeah, and the
and it's on
PC
the
version
PS3.
is screwed up.
And the PC version sucks.
You basically have to emulate the GameCube version.
Yeah, that was my option, and I just came off of Devil May Cry, where like the just fucked me in a really subtle way. So now I'm kind of distrustful until at least I get my new SSD in.
Right.
So was there not like Vesperia HD collection release or something?
Yes, there was.
Yeah, that just came out last year.
Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition for PS4.
Okay, so that's why I got a bunch of attention all of a sudden.
Yes.
Which version are you playing?
PS4, because it feels good, like the Switch.
Okay.
That was mean. I like how the PS4 feels and my PS4 feels. It's just very...
No, I thought you might just be like, and I'm playing it on PS3, the original version.
No, dude, that's 360.
Yeah.
That was that weird fucking edge case where it was just like, it only came out on Xbox 360, but PS4 was where all the RPGs were.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, and for a while, Star Ocean 4 was only on 360.
Weird.
They took out all the anime art. They took out all the anime art for the 360 version.
What?
Yeah, fuck it. For the third Star Ocean game, or the fourth one, when they brought it over and it was only on 360. They also took out all of the anime art.
Did they replace it with anything? Or just take it out?
3D models.
Oh god!
Like really bad headshots of 3D models and shit for your menus and title screens and shit. It looked awful.
It's like the NES box art of the era.
Yeah.
God, that's funny. So, Star Ocean is funny because that literally just started as a bunch of Tales of Fantasia devs being like, "Well, fuck you, Namco. We don't like how you handle this. We're gonna do our own thing.
We're gonna go make a much worse series."
I told you, spite is such a good motivator.
So I was looking at Star Ocean stuff, and I was like, reading this fan rundown of the series, and there's like, and this, what's Sakuraba? Sakuraba, who also does music for the Tales series, does all the music for Star Ocean. And while he usually just phones it in for Tales, he always brings his A game for Star Ocean. And I was like, there's a salty fan.
There you go. There's how you spot a side of a fandom. Here's how you spot somebody that's taking a side in a fandom war.
Mm-hmm. Someone who was it was like a Hardcore Gaming 101 article, so it was like very neutrally written, like painfully neutrally, but then sliding that in, like
they're so bad.
Just letting that little bit of authorial voice in there.
Yeah.
And then Tom, well, they aren't wrong. That's funny. So there's a bunch of things about Tales that I have to kind of figure out, and had to figure out. The fighting is not as like action strict as like Ys is.
No.
Like you're not learning Mega Man patterns and dodging around them. You are taking damage, you are taking hits, and then hitting back with your sword. It is an RPG fighting system that is action with action paint.
Yeah.
For the most part. Like there's still some action bits to it that are cool, but that's kind of the first big thing, kind of hump I had to get over, was like whenever I was taking hits, I was like, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah. Like it is feasible that you could play that game and block most of the hits if you wanted to, but I just it just makes things so slow and enemies kind of collapse under even the littlest bit of aggro.
Mm-hmm. That's been my experience with it. And then when I have fought bosses, I'll be like, all right, attack, block, do your attack, attack, block, and then I'll manual cancel into the block because I'm extra cool. And then I'll like look up their weakness, and then if they have the weakness, I'll turn off all of
the right spells and stuff for your AI. Yeah.
Yep. I got stuck on one boss early on, and then I was like, oh, let's see, what am I doing wrong? And I looked at a guide, and it said do that, and I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. So then I was able to. It sucks that I didn't just figure that out, but like, nah, okay, I get it.
So I've heard people say that the AI in these games is typically bad, but like my experience with Symphonia, Grace's F, and Berseria, Like, I've found that the AI is pretty good at taking care of itself if you set it up well and you tailor it to your condition and not just kind of forget that they're there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you alter your strategies, you enable and disable certain attacks and stuff. Like, yeah, if you're actively doing that, I've always found that Tails AI is typically pretty good at taking care of itself. And you.
I mean, I haven't had any issues with it.
Yeah.
So the fighting feels good. Like, it's fun it just feels nice to whack stuff. I like that the limit break is just, we took out your attack cooldowns, so you can just wail on the guy.
Yeah, you just go fucking nuts.
Yep. It's like, now your combo can just keep going forever. So the story is very slow.
Yeah, this is like a character game from what I gather.
That's my understanding of it, is like, we are meticulously introducing this cast and setting up a conflict that will pay off much, much later.
Mm-hmm.
And all the characters are charming. The game just is completely charming across the board to me. Like, I love all of them.
There's that pirate girl I saw a picture of, and she seems really cool.
She's adorable.
She sounds so fun.
I love all the girls. I love all the boys. They're all great. I love Yuri. He's a great little project.
I want Yuri to absolutely destroy me sexually.
He's very confident.
Whew.
He's very confident, and he's very nice. Like, my favorite interactions in the game are him and the cowardly boy, the little cowardly boy, and I forgot his name. But he's just like subtly, like, he pokes fun at him. The boy whose main character trait is like running from monsters and whatnot.
Yeah.
And he's like pokes fun at him, and he's also like subtly very encouraging. And it's very paternal in a way that's very like warmly paternal.
Not what you typically get out of male RPG protagonists.
Yeah, just like kind in a subtle, meaningful way. And he's like that. He's not that specific vibe with everybody, but he's like that with everybody, where he's just very kind, subtly.
Like Tales protagonists usually come in the flavors of like naive simpleton and like chosen one. So Yuri is like very different in that regard.
Cool. And I like his contrast with Flynn. He quit being a cop. Yuri quit being a cop because he didn't feel like he was making the changes that he wants, and then Flynn kept being a cop so he could make the changes from the inside, and that's the conflict.
It's like your standard Ramza Delita conflict.
Yep. So we'll see how that goes. It just comes down to whether they stick the land, whether they like deliver on these setups, because like everything I'm saying, the story's slow and boring. It's just introducing all these characters. It all applies to Trails. Like,
yeah, it does.
I'm not expecting it to hit that hard.
I don't think it's going to. I don't think that you can expect that from. I'll say that Tales of Berseria is the only Trails story that's actually made me feel anything. I think that they set up that game to have an emotional arc, though, and it's very cognizant of where that story's going. Whereas what I get from Vesperia is it's not really so much about the story. It's really just like the characters and kind of enjoying palling around with these people, which I think Berseria has too, because it has a very small cast of like 5 or 6 characters, and they get along in ways that make a lot of sense for them to bounce off of each other. So if Vesperia is even half as good at that kind of bouncing the ball around dialogue wise, I'll probably have a good time with it.
So I'm excited to see where it goes. I just want it to be like space. It doesn't need to like be super impress me. I just want it to be like functional at the end.
Yeah, just like don't fart and shit and piss all over yourself at the end. It's all you got to do is just don't shit it, peed it, or farted.
Yeah, I remembered a friend shitting on Tales games, and then I remembered the same friend loving Final Fantasy 15, and then I was just like, where do you get off?
What?
Where do you get off?
Now wait a minute.
Where do you get off thinking you're too good for Tales?
Come on.
Because I was just playing. It's like, it's just together and nice, and I love these characters, and then Final Fantasy 15 just repeatedly shitting the bed in all these different ways.
But not at the end. That's the one thing I want to say. The best part of Final Fantasy 15 is the ending.
Yeah, it is, but still.
They they landed in a way it doesn't deserve.
They landed in a way it doesn't deserve. It's like a weird exciting dumpster fire game that I appreciate, that I really enjoyed playing.
Mm-hmm.
But then like Tales, it's like, okay, you're doing a little RPG and you're good at it. I'm having a good time. I hope that you can kind of keep that energy. It's also long. I think it's going to be like 40 hours or so, and that's my big probably stumbling block with these, is that they seem to almost all be like that long.
Mm-hmm.
I think Abyss is maybe the story that seems the most outwardly appealing to me.
I think Abyss has a real cool story, but it really hinges on something that happens mid-game and whether you're going to like it or not. Like, there's something that happens, and it's just like, it's an instant on and off switch for anybody playing that game. I have never seen anybody have a mild reaction to what happens there.
Polly, when we finish, I want you to tell me.
Okay.
Because I'm never playing these games, no offense.
Okay.
Because that one's just a character study about a shitty dude becoming good.
Yeah.
That's as I understand it. So that sounds appealing to me, because it's like they're doing a very purposeful little story.
Mm.
And then this is more like, it's a good vibe.
Yeah.
It's just a nice vibe.
It's a vibe,
Vibe along with it, yo.
Just vibe with it. Vibe check.
Go with the flow. So I'm kind of hoping, worse. It's funny seeing all the points of continuity with this in Ys 8, because there's so many. Like, even the way they like introduce and develop characters feels similar, and then the cooking and all the little systems and the scenes, the conversations.
The like skits are what a lot of people come to Tales for as well. Is like the skits. Mm-hmm. The skits are really where you get a lot of palling around dialogue, where I think that a lot of the character stuff opens up, and a lot of it can be real kind of cheesy and kind of bad. But then there are like genuine moments where it's like, oh, that was actually really sweet. Where they couldn't find a way to work that kind of interaction into the context of a scene or a big production, but it's there if you want. But it's there if you want to have this little skit and and like Berseria really went all out with the skits, because like the art style and the way they use transitions and stuff in that one are like really visual novel like. So they're like,
because it's already so cute and Suspiria with the little square portraits that jump around.
They're like they're like full animated portraits and stuff for the skits in Berseria. It's like really good. Like it makes me wonder what they're doing with Tales of Arise.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's the real thing, is that I just hope I like this. Because if I do, I just have a treasure trove of like nice, fun RPGs I get to check out. Like that isn't that nice? And it all kind of hinges on, do I like what you're selling? I don't know yet.
I think that Vesperia is like, if they're going to sell you that series, that's probably the one to put out front and to make customer sample, I would say. So I think you're definitely taking this series on best foot forward.
Cool.
Because I think that, like, combat-wise, it seems a bit more satisfying than, even though I prefer the narrative of Berseria.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah. So.
Yep, we'll see. A couple non-game things. We can go over them faster.
Okay.
I finished the Reckoners trilogy by Brandon Sanderson. So this is one of his YA series. So it's much quicker reads. This is the guy that wrote Mistborn, The Way of Kings. The guy that made me love reading again, because he writes anime.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Because I didn't know that books could be anime. Books can be anime, huh?
Well, John, like visual novels. What? Come on, hello.
Exactly. It's like I thought it was just visual novels, but nope. Books can be anime too.
Books can actually be visual novels too.
Books can be as good as visual novels.
So they're visual novels without the visual part. They're just novels.
You know how visual novels have like the best action of anything when they're good? Is my sort of takeaway when I'm thinking of like Fate Stay Night or whatnot, and there's just the best action. Sanderson's the other best action, where it's just like very high stakes, very clear, cool rules. Actions have consequences. When you do amazing things, there's a cost to it. Mm-hmm. And it's not just dumb fireball fighting. It is like very thought through, so that when cool shit happens, it's very cool.
Yeah. I can appreciate that kind of writing.
Yep. So the Reckoners trilogy, I read the first one a year ago, and then I read the second one, and then I immediately started and then finished the third one, like a day later. So once I got back into that story, I was like, gotta see this one through to the end. And and the premise is that it's a world where superheroes arrived, like people started becoming superheroes and having superpowers, and every single person that got superpowers turned evil, just like murderous.
Well, it
murderous
makes sense. It's like
people.
boy, that fucking is that like a little on the nose.
Yeah. So the whole premise of the series, especially like that first book, is regular people having to fight against these people with over-the-top comic book superpowers.
Right.
Like, so there's a scene in the start of the second book where there's this lady that can turn into electricity, and they're fighting in a city where everything was turned to steel. And so she can turn into electricity and basically teleport anywhere in this city. And of course she can blow people up with the zappy powers. And it's just this one guy running around. No, it's a team, like, fighting this one superhero trying to take her down. And she's like, they like lead her into a building where everything's turned to steel, so she just like walks into a wall, turns into electricity, and fades through. And it's this very visceral, immediate image that I can just see it in my head as a shonen anime. Yeah. And that's this whole fucking book trilogy is just like the best shonen anime.
Yeah. I can see that. It sounds fun.
And it completely delivers on, and it just has constant, like, there's one action scene where it's the regular guy fighting a lady who can shrink really little or get really big, and anything she touches can shrink and turn really big. So he, like, shoots her, and then the bullets shrink as they hit her.
God, that's so good.
And he, like, punches her, and then as he punches her, he shrinks, and then she starts trying to stomp on him.
Okay, I think I need to read this.
It's so fun, and like I said, they're YA, so they read real quick. And the authorial voice is very funny. It's first person, and one of his gimmicks is that he keeps making very silly metaphors for everything.
I am a big fan of narrative voice and the ways that can be used to have fun with your writing. Obviously, I am a big fan of that.
I think the books keep getting better as they go along. Like, I liked Steelheart a lot, but I was very cognizant of it being like, okay, this is sort of like first Mistborn.
Right.
Like, this is Mistborn, but for younger audience. And I was like, okay. And then the second and third were like, okay, we're going to do our own thing now. And so the first one is still a complete blast, and then it just gets better and better. And when it climaxes, it goes... Every time I was finishing, I was like, deep in the Sanderson climax, y'all, because every one of his books, it's either, if it's one of the big 800-page ones, and it's the last 200 pages, is just knocking down all these dominoes he set up, and every time, it's very satisfying. And with these, it's like the last 80 pages, oh shit.
Just fucking nails it.
How are there only 60 pages left? There's still so much. And then he does it. And he just does it right every time. And it's like, he has limitations to his voice, because of how he builds the stories.
Yeah.
But within if you accept those limitations, then I think he just delivers on what he can do just every single time. He's written like 30 books.
That's whew, oh boy. That's a
lot.
Happy.
Yeah, so this is a good entry point, I think, because it's very fun and breezy.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's probably maybe a little bit of the genders, especially with like the first book. And I think it kind of helps transcend that a little bit as it goes along.
I see.
But yeah, these are, I recommend it. Steelheart's the first book. I recommend them all for like $9 on Amazon.
Nice. That's an easy to make. That's an easy to make risk there.
Last thing, I'm going a little long, but I think y'all will be appreciative of this.
Right.
I've been kind of on a prog deep dive. It started off with, so like a year and a half ago, I listened to Act 2 by the Deer Hunter, and I was just like, meh. It just sounds like every other prog. I don't like this.
Look how flashy and show-offy I am. I can really play this here twiddling stick.
Oh, it's like 70 minutes long. It's really long, and it's all this prog stuff. I don't care. I don't like this.
Songs don't need to be longer than 1 minute 30 seconds.
Oh, jeez.
That's very strict. Just big man with a gun. That's all you need.
There you go.
So then I listened to Deer Hunter again, Act 2, because I knew it was one that Red really liked. And I was like, all right, let's give it a shot because I've liked a lot of recommendations.
Recommendations.
Like I really liked Origin of Symmetry, and a couple others. And I listened to it again, and I was like, oh, there's a lot of this is pretty showtunesy.
Oh yeah, hell yeah! Like there is so much showtunesy influence in the Deer Hunter.
I'm not hard to please. You can get me into your children's TV series. You can get me into your prog album. Whatever works. Worked with Devin Townsend too.
Yes. Devin Townsend.
So I listened through Act 2 a good bit, and I was like, yeah, I like this. And then I listened through Act 1, and it's half as long.
Yeah.
And it leans even harder into the showtunesiness.
Yes.
And then I was like, oh, okay. And then I went from like Act 1 into Act 2. And then I was like, oh, okay. Now I'm kind of vibing with what you're doing here a little more. Now I think I'm getting it.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I needed, was to kind of ease into it more with that intro album.
Yeah, I think
because they're both great.
Yeah, I think that definitely kind of helps the experience feel a little more cohesive and not so just immediately blasting you in the face with what they're doing.
With the 60, 70-minute album.
Yeah. Because, like, a 70-minute album is a lot to fucking deal with. It's a lot to wrap your head around, especially if you're dealing with something progressive.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when it's not clean, immediate, obvious choruses, not clear hooks.
Yeah.
It is... You have to let it wash over you a bit, and you have to kind of figure out the arcs it's taking you on.
Hey, John.
Yeah?
There's 3 more.
There are
I know.
3 more.
I already listened to Act 3 a couple times. I still need more time to vibe with it. It's just, I have a treasure trove of good prog
I think Act 4 is still the best.
Nice.
I love 2.
Like,
I love 2 and 3 to fucking death. But man, Act 4 is so good.
Huh. See, Act 3 is the one that kind of misses for me for some reason. But then I think 4 and 5 are chef's kiss perfecto.
Like, I think that I need to kind of give 5 a little more of a chance, because like when it came out, I just didn't like it at all, and I've not.
It's so weird because
I've not really.
4 and 5 are like the same album to me.
See, that's weird because like I feel that like 5 is like the name of 5 is like hymns with the Devon hymns with. Wow, I just had a stroke while having a podcast. Jesus Christ. Hymns with the Devil in Confessional, and it's very much like it leans into like it's very hymny. Whereas Rebirth and Reprise is very much like, hey, I'm a fucking rock album.
Interesting. I can see vibing with that. So I really connected with that. I went back and dug out my Proto Men Spotify playlists after not touching them for like 4 or 5 years, because this was extremely my shit in high school. Believe it or not.
Yeah, I definitely remember you and Proto Men.
Oh yeah. So I think I have it in my head right now that it's not that the Proto Men aren't cool. I don't know if that's based on anything. It might just be like a couple people in a social group being not liking them.
I don't really like them.
Yeah. It might just be you again. Just like
it's probably just me.
Polly's opinions blowing up in my brain.
Because I fucking love Act 2. It's so good. I told you this already, but when me and Polly got into Deer Hunter, I started making a bunch of Act 3 jokes because I think Act 3 Deer Hunter was out, but obviously Act 3 for Proto Men was not out and still isn't out.
I checked and they are apparently still working on it.
Like a decade later. Great.
Okay. Doing a bunch of shows. I listened through their Queen live album, and I actually really liked it. It was a good time.
Interesting. I really like their cover album.
I haven't listened to that one yet. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's fun.
It seems like they just needed a big old break from it makes me wonder if they just needed to escape the gimmick entirely.
Well, I mean, that's the same thing with Coheed and Cambria's The Color Before the Sun. It's an album that's not married to either the Afterman or the Amory Wars concept, and it's just like let's just write some fucking songs and
guys, let's just write some fucking songs.
Yeah, and it's not tied to any of the concept. And like, even though I think that it's probably the weakest Coheed album, I understand why it had to happen. And you know, like sometimes artists need to kind of be pulled away from that headspace a bit sometimes, I think. And I respect that, and I understand why those kinds of albums exist, and I don't think that they're terrible or anything. So
for sure. there's a bit in the Queen live cover album where he's just talking to the audience, and it's like, we love performing our stuff, but man, this is just so much better.
What?
About the very good Queen songs they're playing. It's like, all right, cool, fair. It was very much like, oh, that's funny. My basic vibe with it was that I listened through Act 1 again, and then immediately started belting out every song pristinely from memory.
Much to your neighbor's chagrin.
Just like in my apartment, just like completely nailing it with all of them. I did not know that album was 36 minutes long. It is short, and I didn't have a concept of how long albums should be when I first listened to it. And I listened to it before Act 2 came out. I was a fan before Act 2 came out. Pat on the back. Yeah.
I also listened to Act 1 before Act 2 existed.
Mm-hmm. So I think that one's real fun because every song is completely different, and most of them are. The only one that goes on long is Sons of Fate, and it's doing it by having a long stretch of ominous wind after all the people have been murdered by the robots, and I'm like, yeah, I can vibe with that. I appreciate that.
I mean, it's basically the last track because the actual ended track is kind of a bonus thing.
Yeah,
it's a very short, to the point story album.
Mm-hmm. And then I listened to Act 2 several times through and still belted out like several pristinely, especially the Hounds. That was always my favorite. I saw them live and Dr. Wily in that section. I've said that a couple times where I was like, oh, this man is hot, huh? just like, oh, this is putting some feelings in me.
Interesting. Sexual awakening.
Yeah, just because he's very confident in that song, and he's just belting it out. It's very good.
Concept album, Dr. Wily but hot.
Because you and I, Tom, we are. All right, never mind.
Yeah,
it's very good. I think that album was actually a little bit less fun than the first album Revisit because there are some sort of dirgy stretches in Act 2. I think
it's basically 2 of the first album.
Yeah, there's 3 songs after the Hounds where Dr. Light is brought before the court and they say he's not guilty, and then the song after that for Wiley framing him for killing Emily, and then there's a track where the crowd is like enraged and trying to kill him, and then there's an instrumental track where he escapes, and all of them are like pretty low tempo and chill and mournful and ominous.
Yeah, and when you're structuring an album, you've got to really be cognizant of valleys like that.
Mm-hmm. And that's basically every Dr. Light song is mournful and slow and ominous. And then to the point where when Joe comes in with Breaking Out of Here, it's just this kind of beacon of light. But then even he has like an 8-minute slow,
that's the thing,
ominous track right after that.
I've never thought that first stretch was too much of a drag, but then when you hit the 8-minute track, that's when I'm like, oh, this one could have maybe been tightened up a little bit. This one
could have been tightened up maybe just a little bit, and then it gets to Light Up the Night. And it's like, oh,
and then it's awesome.
And then it's the best thing in the universe that's ever happened. And then The Fall is really good. And then there's a 6 or 7 minute like mournful, slow, ominous track after Joe dies, where Dr. Light is like, just as that deep bass, just like, and then everything.
Oh, that one's so fucking good though.
It's very good.
But I
still have work to do. Dun, 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 dun.
Me and John just gushing over this album that Pauly just doesn't like.
It's no different than me gushing over an album that nobody else listened to, and everybody this at least works better because the two of you have listened to it. So
I still listen to this like regularly. You know, so I have this on an actual CD. Mm-hmm. This was the very last album, or most recent, because maybe I'll do it again someday. I sat down with the booklet and just listened to the entire album while reading the booklet for the liner notes. Mm-hmm. And there's like additional like scenes and paragraphs that aren't spoken in the liner notes.
Yep. Joe rides a motorcycle up some stairs, I think. The liner notes is very badass.
I mean, this was probably like 10 years ago. I don't remember them specifically, but it's like Act 1 starts with a little bit of narration, and then there's no like direct narration for the entire other songs.
Yeah. Yep. So it was still a very fun revisit because those tracks that land for me land real hard, And even then, the other ones still carry the story forward and still do some cool stuff.
Yeah.
So that album still rules, and I think I had a little bit more fun with Act 1 on the re-listens, just because it's that just punch of it's a little bit goofier, which helps.
It's a concept album about Mega Man.
It's much goofier and more overt. And wearing the dumbness on its sleeve, I think, and then the songs are just shorter and all very varied. But I had a lot of fun with those. And then I put on Images and Words after not listening to Dream Theater for 4 years, and it just punched me in the dick with goodness.
Okay.
It's a real good album, and it definitely. I will confirm its punch in the dick status. It's still still a banger.
It's just a banger, start to finish. It was sort of after, especially the sort of dirgy bits of Act 2 with the Proto Men.
Yeah.
And then listening to that, it is just 60 minutes of, oh, this is why I really like prog, huh? Oh man, because it has so many parts, and every song has like the really good part. Yeah, and then the way it builds around that really good part is always really smart. It doesn't feel like you can just take a chunk out of the song.
Like, I think my favorite part of that album that still just hits me like a brick every time, just because it just because of the way the song before it has always kind of it builds to that moment, is the final verse into outro for Metropolis. Before the trees have fallen, before we lock the door. Yeah, before the leaves have fallen, before we lock the door. That moment right there, it's just like, oh god, I feel it lifting me out of my fucking chair every time.
It's so good.
Is Wait for Sleep on that one too?
I think so.
Yeah, because I really like that. It's just a little piano ditty, but I always mix that one and Space Divest and which album they're on.
Oh.
Yeah, Wait for Sleep.
Yeah, like I really, really like that tune too. Yeah, that moment in Metropolis where you're going into the song's outro and it's about to wrap up, it's just like, oh my god, it's something about it is so transcendent.
Yep, and it just makes these like 8-9 minute tracks just soar.
Yeah,
with so much energy.
Yeah,
was this the debut Dream Theater?
There was the second album. This was their first with James Labrie.
Yeah,
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of their first album because it was the one that broke out because of Pull Me Under.
Pull Me Under, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a new singer with it. The first album is not good.
It's like I can listen to those songs if they're performed by James Labrie, because they do that from time to time where they'll pull out those songs from the original.
Yeah. But like the vocal style they're written for isn't really his thing either, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they're fine songs, like I understand, but like the original recordings with that Charlie Dominici are
just not
my favorite.
Charlie Dominici is not a bad singer. It's just he does not fit what they were going for.
Mm-hmm. I definitely listened to Dream Theater because you threw them at me way back in the day.
Yeah.
But
I will continue to throw like their first 8 albums at you. Well,
yeah, I mean, but basically what I did as a kid was I just listened to Metropolis Part 2 and then Images and Words a little while later on loop. So I'm kind of ready to do a little bit more of the deep dive with the first chunk of them, at least.
Yeah. Nice. Like I don't think that they're ever going to top 6 Degrees, but that's just me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the one I keep waiting for.
Listened to that one.
That's the one I keep waiting for John to get to for a reason.
Interesting.
It's real funny.
The reason?
If we're thinking of the same reason, then yeah.
Yeah. A 42-minute thing.
The 42-minute anime music video.
Oh yeah. What was it set to? What was it about?
It was Higurashi and 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence. The entire song.
Yes. Extremely good.
Because on the CD, 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence is cut up into 8 pieces, but it is one 42-minute song.
Extremely good. Oh my god. Life is good, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
So music's great.
Music is fun. I like it. We both had musical adventures, it sounds like.
Yeah. Music's fun, music's great, books are great. It's important to do things that aren't playing video games.
Or if you do the thing where you play video games, you don't have to be mad about it. You can just play the good ones. Play the good ones that you like and share that experience with people in a very non-toxic way, please.
Yeah, or play Suikoden.
Mad.
Oh god.
or play Suikoden.
Yeah.
No,
we have a warmness for Suikoden now.
Yeah, you gotta find if you're gonna deep dive like bad things, then it's because you're finding the things that are kind of compelling and interesting about them.
I suppose.
You lost Paulie for that.
Rhett!
Hi.
That was a long one. What else have you been up to?
A couple things. I played Gato Roboto.
Oh, hey, that game.
Which is a video game.
It's a video game.
It is a video game. It is a video game as video game. It's one of those. You play as a cat in a robot suit, and you go do a Metroid.
Yeah, that's basically it.
But specifically, you do one of the newer Metroids because this game is basically divided into levels.
This is Hunter's level design, basically.
Oh,
where you think that
so mean.
I'm not trying to be insulting. I'm just saying that, like, look, you're not really exploring anything, but you got a map, and some things might be blocked off, and you'll come back and get to it later. But it's very orchestrated, and now you're going to do that, and you're never going to get lost.
I think this is actually a little bit more exploration than Hunters, because Hunters, in general, intentionally just funnels you down towards the one path.
Yeah.
But this is definitely like, you have the intro area, and then you reach what they literally they say to you, think of it like a hub.
A hub, yeah.
And then there's 3 levels that branch off that, and you have to do them in order, as far as I can tell.
Yep.
So then you have the water area, and then the fire area, and then the wind area, and then the end game area.
Mm-hmm.
It's very linear.
Yeah.
And, like, I think you can get all the items in each sub-area the first time through.
Yeah, like
once you have the power-up.
On the exit from every area, like, the special item, the power-up items that you can get, you'll be able to get them with just the power-up you got in that level.
Yeah. So one of the things that's weird, though, is, like, when they're doing this kind of very linear structure, is they don't... You get the power-ups, like, after beating the boss.
Yeah.
And I think that's such a missed opportunity, because the way Zelda would always do it is, like, it gives you most of the whole area, and then you get the power-up, and it recontextualizes the whole area. This doesn't do that.
People are kind of, like, that's where I think people miss the point in a lot of these games. And that's typically always how modern, like, explory games like this are made, in that it's always find the power-up after a boss, where it's just like, you make more interesting boss fights with the new power-up you got. You recontextualize the area with the new power-up you got.
Yeah, like, I forgot. Basically, you get like, I think in the fire area, you get a dash, and you can dash through things. Mm-hmm. And I basically completely forgot about that I had it for the entire rest of the game.
Yeah.
Because you just don't get forced to use it, like, ever.
Yeah, like, the world isn't... It's not constructed in a way that makes adequate use of your abilities beyond these very small moments in time.
Mm-hmm. And, like, in general, the power-ups aren't particularly interesting. Like, one of them is just... Oh, actually, this one... I don't even remember which area you got the dash in it. I think it was the fire one. But then... So one thing that bugged me, and it really shouldn't bug... Well, I don't know. When you shoot a missile... There's a little gauge. So in Metroid, you have limited missiles. It's just straight up, you've got 50 missiles, and you shoot them. In this game, when you shoot a missile, there's a little gauge to the side, like your temperature meter, and it goes up, like, to 90 degrees when you shoot a missile. And if you shoot another missile, it goes into, like, kind of haywire mode, and you have to wait for the cooldown. Mm-hmm. When you're in the fire area, that gauge never changes.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
Yeah,
it should be always hot.
Yeah, there should be, like you could have made an interesting and fun mechanic around that, and then being able to power up later to give you back the ability to have missiles in that area to recontextualize them.
Yeah, because when you go in there, they go, "Oh, it's super hot in here. You, as the cat, can't get out of the robot suit in this area." But then the missile gauge still says 20C the entire time.
Yeah.
And then you fire it, and it goes up to 90, and then you fire it again, and it goes into haywire, and you have to wait for the cooldown. It should have just started hotter.
Yeah.
It's so silly. And then then one of the upgrades you get, I thought it was at the end of that area too, is just better cooling. Now you can fire 3 missiles.
Yeah, now you can fire 3.
And it's weird.
It says a lot that my favorite part of this game was the one where they forced you to just be the cat. And you died in one hit.
Which is a little annoying, but it was a fun, tense area.
I really liked that area a lot.
Yeah. I had kind of the problem with it is like I had kind of decided on the game at that point.
Yeah, like that's the point. It is that I was in the same boat, believe me. Like when I got to that point, it was just like I like this area, but like this doesn't save this game at all. It's just this game isn't bad. Like I think we can agree that it's not bad. It's a competent video game. It's doing what it's supposed to do. It's ticking a lot of boxes, and I think that's why the game exists, is to just tick some boxes.
That's the thing, is that it's extremely adequate in there.
Like Minoria. Just kind of feels...
think this...
You think
I had a gut reaction just now where I'm like, oh, this game's way better than Minoria. Okay,
I think that it's better in turn. I think that it's better because it's shorter and more compact. I think that Minoria didn't need to be as big as it is.
I think this plays infinitely better. It's just kind of boring.
Well, yeah, it does play infinitely better because the fucking melee in Minoria is terrible.
Yeah. It's like, that's where I say this game is competent. It's like, oh, it feels good to play and jump and shoot enemies. Mm-hmm. Whereas Minoria never felt good, but it had oozing atmosphere.
Yeah.
Whereas the atmosphere in this like never lands kind of at all.
At all. And like the writing is so just like, dog.
It's trying to be cute.
Like the he can't talk because he's a cat joke. It only works once if I'm being very fucking generous. You do this joke at least 9 times.
Yeah.
Oh, imagine if they just like not done that for the whole game, just had it be a silent protagonist, and then at the very end the cat just goes meow.
See, like that would have worked. That would have worked. But they make that joke of like overly long explanation for a thing, and then you switch to the cat meow. Like fuck, stop it. You are wasting so many K of memory with displaying that text. It's pointless.
Yep. The other thing is that the ending of this game is wild because it just kind of ends.
Yeah, it's just fucking out of nowhere.
Yeah. So, John, do you remember Environmental Station Alpha?
Yeah.
Do you remember the ending of that game being kind of a letdown?
I remember all 3 endings of the game being a letdown. I don't remember the specifics.
Well, I remember in one of the videos we watched about that game is like they said that the main flaw of that game is that the first ending being kind of a letdown makes you think that there's going to be a better ending. If you
then there isn't.
If you go into doing the secret stuff. This game is very similar, except there's no secret stuff.
Yeah.
You beat this game, it's a kind of a disappointing ending, and then when you reload your save, you're back in an area that you are trapped in.
Yeah, it's just you did it. You beat the game, and now you're stuck in this room.
You're stuck in the spaceship, like you did the thing, you escaped, and you can just wander around like these 4 single screen rooms, and that's it. There's just nothing to do. You just have to like delete your save or something. It's bizarre. I've never seen like a game that just doesn't let you rewind and go back to the planet to get the items you missed.
Yeah, like you think it would just like revert to the state before like the final boss or the final checkpoint or something, and it just
it's
never
so weird.
Does. Yeah,
it just doesn't.
It's a weird thing. I think Gato Roboto is like it's fine.
It's adequate. It's fine.
It's adequate. It's fine. It's a video game that you can play. You will probably not. I don't think that you will hate the hour and a half it'll take you to beat it.
Yeah, it's pretty short. Like, it's a big Flash game. It's like...
Yeah.
Like, if this was a Flash game for Newgrounds in, like, 2008, I would have been like, oh, this one's really good.
They had to shit their pants over it.
Yeah. Newgrounds, Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Like, that's just the vibe it gives me.
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to badmouth the game or say don't buy it, don't play it or anything. No. Like, because I feel that, like, it doesn't come across as a game that was made just to try to, I guess, fit into a mold. It just feels like... it's very clearly someone's vision, and somebody wanted to make this. And it's
I don't think it's cynical.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't strike me as cynical. I'll give it that.
Yeah. One thing that kind of bugged me, though, is like the whole game has this black and white, like literally just black and white color palette.
Yeah, it kind of cut into my eyes. I didn't really like it.
So the thing is, like, I actually thought it worked for this, whereas I hated it in Minute. Because I think this is trying to be a little bit creepier with its atmosphere, whereas Minute isn't at all. But a lot of the things to gather in this game are just straight up palette swaps.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, I've got a light blue one. I'll turn that on when I'm in the water area. And then, I've got a kind of a brownish tint one. I'll use that in the fire area.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, hey, game developer, why am I like choosing?
Why am I
doing the work for you?
Why didn't you just do this? Like, it just feels that would have been the more natural fit.
Yeah, because then when I got to the end game area, I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna make it like black and red, really harsh.
And
it's just like, yeah, but why am I deciding that?
Yeah,
you know, that just kind of felt a little off, like because it does really change the mood.
It does. It's a cute little effect. Like I know Downwell does it too, and it works in a similar way.
True.
I played Minute because it looked like Downwell, and I was like, oh, I loved Downwell, and I played Minute, and then I looked at Gato Roboto and said that looks like a Minute, and I didn't play Downwell.
Is Downwell only black and white? I thought there.
No, there are other palettes.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Like I think like shots are red. I think bullets are red.
Yeah, I think it's white, black, and red or something.
Like white, black. I think anything that's red will hurt you.
Right.
And then that changes with the palette.
Yeah. Whereas this is literally just two colors.
So and white all the time.
Yeah. Which is, it's interesting because it means things have to read really clearly.
Yeah, like it's an exercise in making fucking everything readable.
Yeah, which it definitely does.
It absolutely does.
Not the issue.
Yeah.
It's just that it gets a little monotonous when every area looks exactly the same.
I like the weight that the character has jumping around to you. It actually feels like a little thing piloting a big weight, like a way too big thing.
Yeah. It's a fine
nice taste. Better than Minute? What'd you say?
I only lasted like 5 minutes a minute.
Oh, okay.
I immediately didn't like how that game felt at all.
I was like, did you play Minute? Wait, what? No, none of y'all played it. I successfully scared you off, which means I didn't have anyone to complain about on
I still tried to play it.
Minute was on my radar for like the first week it was out, and then you told me about it, and I was like, yeah, it sounds pretty gutless.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I still get mad thinking about that one.
For some reason, like Polly's issue with the visuals in Gato Roboto, like kind of being sharp and cutting into your eyes, that's how I felt about Minute, where it's just like, oh, this is just, it's ugly and sharp and like, I don't know, like it didn't read well to me, whereas Gato Roboto did for some reason.
Weird. I wonder what there's like science behind that.
Yeah. Or I was just in a different mindset, who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is weird because I went into both of them knowing, a friend of mine didn't like this game that much. But I think John was much more harsh on Minute.
Right.
Than Polly was like just kind of meh on Gato Roboto. But I still wanted to play because I just wanted one of those for a bit.
Yeah, that's why I played it. It's just like I just need to do that thing for and I don't want to I don't want to pay $40 for Bloodstain and do it for 40 hours. I just want to do it for like an hour and a half.
Why is Bloodstain so long?
Like,
God, man, is it? Wait, what?
Yeah, it's like 40 hours.
What?
It's huge.
It is huge.
There's like quests and side quests and grinding. It's like a whole big thing.
There's item synthesis, item grinding. Like, it's so crazy. Like, I don't get me wrong. I'm probably gonna play it at some point. But Jesus Christ, there's just so much to kind of like sit there and think, good Lord, do I want to engage with all of that? Probably not.
How long to beat says completionist is 32 hours. Main story is 13 hours.
That's
so I think
pretty long.
It's very long for one of these kinds of games, but it's not twice as long as Hollow Knight long.
No.
Which Hollow Knight is like the
Hollow Knight took me 40 hours.
Okay, I did about 25, so I was like...
Yeah, it took me 40 hours, but I think I 100%ed it too. In terms of items.
I mean, Hollow Knight is physically huge, whereas I think that Bloodstain sounds like it has more
backtracking, grinding,
RPG stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did do some other stuff that's not video games.
What's that?
Oh, tell us about them.
So, tell me if you've heard about this one. I watched an anime. I rewatched season 1 of Simple Gear.
What? Why?
That's my favorite.
I like it.
That's my favorite. Much
John's favorite.
Much like Suikoden 1 is better than Suikoden 2. I think Simple Gear 1 is better than Simple Gear 2.
Forgot that those were kind of connected. I remember when you started Suikoden 2 where I was thinking, how funny it would be if you actually ended up liking this less, just like Simple Gear. And then you actually did.
Continue. How did it treat you this time?
It treated me very well. I
didn't start hating Symphogear.
Oh God,
that would
I don't
be very
think that's
weird.
going to happen. Basically, I just wanted to revisit this one because that shows a lot with like how much terminology and stuff they throw at you, especially in those first few episodes. Mm-hmm. Whereas, like, I realized, like, oh, I really kind of didn't understand this show for a while.
I was here for pretty girls and singing. Whoops, wait, what do you mean there's actually a story? Same way people feel about Toho.
It's a lot of technobabble and, like, ancient relics and activations and all this stuff.
The moon!
Like, the other... Huh?
The moon!
Oh, and the moon.
Protect the moon!
Well, like, the other thing is, like, because of how Season 1 is structured, like... Because there's... Once you know the twist at the end, it's like, oh, they foreshadowed it much better than I thought. It's like, this doesn't feel quite as written as it was made.
Right.
And, yeah.
Like, seat of their pants, just making shit up as they went along. It doesn't feel like that on second view. Mm. The other thing is, like, the show does have the problem of... God, you even compared this to Suikoden and Gaiden. The Japanese website has a thing called, like, keywords, where it's, like, additional information that's not quite all presented in the show. So I read those along with rewatching the show because they're, like, tagged by episode, and not all of them are translated, unfortunately, but I think all of season ones are. Mm-hmm. So, like, by the end, I was like, oh, I have a full understanding of what happened in this show now, and that was very good. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I paid more attention to the character arcs and, like, where they start, where they end up, and I was like, oh, everyone everyone in the show has a nice little arc because they thought they were only getting one shot at this. Like, this wasn't planned as, like, a huge 5-season thing. Mm-hmm. They were just like, okay, we've got 13 episodes to tell the story as much as we can.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then they tell as much as they can.
And then they tell
it as much as they can.
I saw people, like, old forum posts from, like, 2013, 2014, people being like, you know, it was originally going to be 24 episodes and they had to cram it into 13, but apparently that's not true.
Okay.
But I guess they're just like, yeah, that's just his kind of writing style, having come from JRPGs, mm-hmm. which was a lot of throw everything you can at the screen. And then I cried a bunch at the end.
Of course. Yep. I mean, why would you?
We both did.
So I did watch some more anime. Mm-hmm. Watched another show. It's called Symphogear G.
You got me. Yeah, I was like switching brains, like recalibrating.
I was like, okay, we're going into... Oh, okay.
I enjoyed being on Symphogear mode. It's time to adjust into a new thing. Boop, boop, beep, boop. Like, shift those neurons around. All right, Rhett, tell me what the next thing is.
So, I'll try to go through these quick.
Go for it. No, you don't have to.
My main goal in rewatching season 1 was to understand what was going on and kind of pay attention to the character arcs. You know what Symphogear G kind of fails at?
Uh-oh.
Having clear character motivations.
Whoops. The perfect thing is not so perfect anymore.
There's just a point towards the end where I'm just like, man, Kirika, you're just such a fucking idiot. I don't understand what you're doing. I don't understand the villains at all in this season.
Sort of like much like Joey in Suikoden 2.
Oh, jeez.
Continue.
It's just like, oh, I understand the plot to a point, and then when stuff really starts popping off in the last like 2 episodes, I just kind of threw my arms up as like, okay, yeah, sure, I guess that can just happen now. I am doing my damnedest, reading, you know, the additional wiki info to try and figure this all
you are
out.
Putting in the hours.
Yeah, and you're just like, oh, the spaceship, it can just split in half and send part of itself into space. Okay, sure. Like, they're just, yep, they're just flying around in space now. Okay. His arm just controls everything because he has an alien arm now. It's just, it's a lot.
I really like when Fine came back briefly. Like, that part was very good.
It's weird because so like now that I'm not blown away by how they ass-pull resolve some stuff, mm-hmm. I actually thought this season feels way more written by the seat of their pants as they made it up going along than season 1 actually does now. But yeah, my main problem now is with it now is I'm trying so hard to figure out what the antagonist group was trying to accomplish, and I just kind of can't.
Yeah, that was my. I think I hit that point about halfway through where I just kind of gave up, and then that was why the last half of the show was just the misery.
Fugue state.
Fugue state hell.
There's another thing though, where a character motivation for Chris is like it hinges extremely on a thing that happened off screen before season 1 that they never really explicitly bring up. It's kind of crazy. Like, why she would be so driven to do the thing that she does is because of something that happened a long time ago.
All the way back.
Yeah.
And that's why she ate the spaghetti. It was very cute.
The spaghetti scene is so weird.
That I've only seen GIFs, and I'm just like, yeah. Y'all like that thing, I guess.
Yeah.
It's pretty cute.
It's funny.
No, that's all where you sent me the pictures of the guy that ate spaghetti annually with Chris, right?
Oh no!
Just with the printouts and the
no, I don't even know that exists.
No, it's even better actually.
Oh, okay. Tell me.
I just saw this random tweet that was like, I'm taking 2 weeks off work to spend time with my wife, and then it had a picture of Chris from Simple Care.
Oh no!
All right, I interrupted you. What was it? What was the next thing you were going to do?
I don't even remember.
Sorry.
So yeah, the character motivations and arcs in this season are a little bit weaker. I will admit.
That might be why. I think the things I remember really striking me with one are the tension with Hibiki having to hide her powers from Miku.
Yeah,
that was big. And then the ending and then the ending where Chris and Tsubasa was mean to everyone at the start, and then Chris was really mean, and then everyone kind of coming together and then protecting the moon.
That's the problem, is that season 1 has an arc for everyone, and then they really don't in season 2. But even the new characters also kind of don't.
Yeah, those are the ones who could have carried it.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, the closest is Shirabe, but even then, it's kind of weak. Like, I don't understand Maria's character. She just kind of yells about power a lot. Oh yeah, that's why every time you sent me Maria art, I was just snoozy face. Like, this person is nobody to me. You have to understand. She is nothing to me. Polly just changed the stream layout to
just like, okay.
That's very cute. When's my Polly plush coming?
Yeah, sneak the.
Poncho just tweeted it. Okay, so we're just looking at Twitter now. I watched one more show.
Was it Simple Gear Season 3?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
All right, good.
All right, so this was your low point in your initial watch, right?
So here's the funny thing. It's no longer the low point. So somehow Season 2 dipped a bit on rewatch. Season 3 massively elevated.
Would you say, would you lower your mouse score and raise your other... Would you change your mouse scores?
I don't think I would lower G. I would definitely raise it. Because I gave G an 8 originally and GX a 7. I would definitely boost the 7 now.
Okay.
So here's the thing. Hibiki has an arc in this one.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. It's like, there's like an actual character arc that really resonated with me with this time. Not even that it didn't the first time. It's like, rewatching it, it was like kind of this revelation of like, this is when I started really liking her, like, as a character, and not just...
You love Hibiki.
Yeah, but, like, for the first 2 seasons of the show, I was just here for the dumb action. I didn't really care about the characters.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, this is the season that really started making me really like her. And, like, the first 6 episodes of the series of GX are, like, probably the best, some of the best in the entire show.
Mm-hmm.
And then
it's much more rigid, right? There's more of a formula to the season, which I can kind of appreciate when the first 2 felt kind of structureless. So I was like, all right, maybe just do the Sailor Moon thing. Like, I can appreciate that.
The problem for me is still in the back half, where it just becomes like 4 episodes in a row of dispatching the weekly villains.
Mm-hmm. And
because those episodes are also trying to do character arcs for everybody else, it's it gets really busy because it's episodes of like them setting up a problem for a character and then immediately resolving it in that same episode with a song. So it rushes a bit, whereas like the first half of the show is kind of the Hibiki show, and that's the best character, obviously. And Miku is extremely involved as well.
Oh, really?
And so I think this is the only other time in the show besides season 1 where they are sleeping together. They make a point of it as, hey, they're in a new apartment now, but they still got have the bunk bed and are sleeping together on the top bunk. It's very good.
And the first 10 minutes are the best part of the whole Symphogear franchise, right? First 10 minutes of the season.
It's a lot.
That's just the self-contained episode there. It's just very good.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because Hibiki's arc in this one is that she doesn't want to fight people anymore. So the intro scene makes sense in that it's not her fighting, it's just them stopping a disaster.
Nice.
So, like,
oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so she only actually fights like 3 times in the entire season.
Interesting.
Like her first 2 action scenes are just helping people, and then Miku motivates her. You've really got to fight. I believe in you. You fight not to hurt people, but to save them. And then Hibiki fights, and then she loses. It's extremely dramatic and good.
Oh boy, who knows? Much like Suikoden 3 might be the one that turns it all around. Symphogear season 3.
So that's what I've been getting up to. Hey,
gotcha.
Next week we're doing our best anime of the decade. Tune in to find out what mine is.
Oh, it's the Heaven's Feel movies. Big surprise. I didn't know you'd taken the dip there. Really hidden in there, right?
Jeez.
So, Polly, what have you been up to?
Okay. Well, I got one more thing that I can we can talk about. What?
I apologize for putting the entire audience to sleep just now.
Yeah, I looked out. I surveyed our land, and I just like, are they dead?
They've all been devoured by the noise.
So this seems to be an episode of people going back and kind of looking at things with a different pair of eyes that or ears that that they may have experienced previously, right? I mean, that seems to be, it seems like we all ended up doing that without even planning it.
Weird.
So about 2 years ago, I played a video game that ended up being quite the critical darling. And then I expressed opinions on it that were contrary to the popular opinions at the time. So then my podcast hosts both went on to play the video game as well.
I literally started this because you didn't like it.
Spite played it, and I thought he was Spite liking it at some point. But then it came to be that both my co-hosts ended up liking this game, and then... So this is a game that kept coming up. It just kept coming up. Like people that I watch stream suddenly out of nowhere. Like, what the fuck? You're playing
a recurring illness.
Yes, it's a recurring illness. This thing that just keeps invading my time and place. When I said my piece on it, and I said, "Fuck you, I'm done." I said, "No, fuck you" to popular opinion. I said, being the rebel scamp that I am. Yeah, the game was Celeste. It's the hit indie platformer about depression and anxiety. I think at the time I said that game was like Walmart brand depression anxiety or something like that. I know that I was very, very harsh on this game when I played it 2 years ago. But it stuck in my craw for some reason. I could not, for some reason, get this game out of my head, because on the surface, it's just like, this is a game I should like. Like, there are elements that are in this game that are very distinctively borrowed from other games that I like. There's no reason I should not like this game. And that just kind of stuck with me for a bit. And as the last 2 years wore on, 2 or 3 people that I watched stream ended up playing this game as well for the first time, blind. And from all of their streams, just laughter, joy, enjoying themselves, connecting with these characters and story. And I'm sitting here every fucking time like, why didn't I get it?
Polly, I just got a cold chill over my entire body. I need to ask you a very serious question. I want you to answer it.
Okay.
You did actually replay Celeste, right?
I thought about that too, but I
just
know
double
that
check.
she
I trust
she
you.
absolutely did.
Okay.
I absolutely did. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. We're all good then. I trusted you completely. Just wanted to make sure. We're all good.
But like the thing that it's like everybody I know is enjoying this game, and I'm the one that didn't. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Like, what is going on here? So I finally I reinstalled it probably like a year ago with the intention of replaying it, but I never got around to it. So since there's fuck all going on, January and February of the year, I decided to replay it again from start to finish. No assist mode, anything of the sort. We're just going to take this game as it was intended to be. We're going to be patient. We are going to let the story take us where it wants to take us. We're just going to exhibit, I feel, an amount of patience with it that I did not the first time. And I came out on the other side. It's like, oh no, this game is actually pretty special, huh? Everything about the game that did not click the first time, the story, the platforming mechanics, the level gimmicks, it all came around this time, and it was just like, this is the right game for now. I feel that, like, when I first played this game, I caught myself slipping into a mindset that I think that it's easy to fall into when you host something like a podcast where it's just like you need things to talk about. So like there's a trap that it's easy to fall into, and I've caught myself doing it a few times, and I am goddamn sure that's what happened to this game, where it's just like, well, I have to finish it because I have to have something to talk about. I don't care if it's not landing with me right now. Like, what I'm feeling right now is what I'm going to talk about. And I don't think that at the time I was really in the mood for that game. Like, I finished it out of obligation. I didn't really engage with it much. I didn't try to let the story and the characters do what they were trying to do. I was just kind of like, I'm just going to sit here with my big old grump face and finish this game that I'm not enjoying right now. And
this is hitting me because this is what I did with Fire Emblem.
Yeah, like, I bounced off really hard for this game initially, and I should have stayed bounced off, but instead I kept coming back to it like it was an obligation, and I put that on the game and not myself. Like, I ruined my own first experience with this game. And this time around, it was an absolute delight. And I think that it shows that I enjoyed my time with the game a lot more this time, because my first playthrough of the game was like 8 hours or so, and I collected like 40 strawberries, and I don't think I found a single B-side. Whereas this playthrough, I ended up with like 110 strawberries or something, and I found 4 out of 7 B-sides or something, and and I found a bunch of blue hearts. So nice. I was actually just way more engaged with getting around that world, enjoying those mechanics, the feel of the jumping, the feel of the dashing around, the various ways that they find to stretch and play around with all that. It's fucking smart. It's way smarter than I gave it any fucking credit for. And yeah, like that game absolutely deserves all the praise that it got. And I was the dummy this time. Like, I will fully admit, like, that is a game where I fell into a real dumb trap that's easy to fall into if you have a podcast or something. And because I mean, podcasts are all about, like, I need to have a thing to talk about. Like, what am I going to do?
I'm worried about that for this episode.
But like, yeah, like the writing in this game is really good. I think that, like, the mindset I was in at the time those were not the messages that I wanted, writing wise. Whereas this time, like, when I got to those points where, like, Madeline is really fucking confronting things, like, and you know, like, really trying to sort herself out and more or less just be honest, rather than, you know, trying to bottle shit up and say that it's not a big deal. Whereas, like, it's like, oh yeah, like, this actually fucking hits and hurts this time. And I think ultimately what I really, really like about that game, in its conclusion, is that The conclusion isn't that, Madeline's all better. It's more of just like, oh, I've got a better mindset now. Like, I've now got the first set of tools that I can use to start rectifying my situation. It's not like climbing the mountain isn't a magic cure-all, but it provided the answers she came there looking for, even if they weren't like this magical tincture that's going to fix everything. And it really fucking resonated this time.
Yeah. I think what's really important to me in that story is that she doesn't defeat the evil self.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She learns to work with it.
Yeah. Like, it's just a part of, like, we all have parts of ourselves that we're not really happy about. And there are parts of us that you just can't divorce yourself from because it's just who you are. Like, there are primitive, like, it's literally Xenogears. It's literally Xenogears with Fae versus Id. It's literally Mega Dimension Neptunia with Uzume versus Kurome. It's the same story. It's just told
because
here.
It's so universal.
Yeah, it's a story that's really fucking universal in that, like, we've all got, like, a bad voice in our head sometimes, but, like, it's having a side of your personality that you only let experience the bad things, and if you do that, I feel that you warp a part of yourself. And like, I think that that's ultimately what that story is going for, in that, like, you put all of this bad shit on me, like, says the person that's manifesting, in all of these stories. It's like, you put all the bad shit on me. I didn't ask for it. I had to adapt too. And, like, the way that I adapt is lashing out at you. And like, personifying those fucking complicated strings of emotion that you get, and the way that we fuck ourselves up mentally, like, I think that it's just a really cool way to express that inner conflict. And like, I don't know what my favorite version of that story is, but I would like Celeste, Xenogears, and Mega Dimension Neptunia are my three favorites.
I love Neptunia just getting in there.
Neptunia gets in there. The fucking silly video game about
video games
and titties has like a really compelling light and dark side story.
That's really nice.
But yeah,
and to me, I compared it with Inside Out. Which just has
that's absolutely, I can see that too.
Yep.
That's like a really, really great game that I'm glad that I'm glad that I got it, because like, it really did stick. Like, even though like I came across as mad and hating it on the podcast, I was mad because I didn't get why it didn't click for me. Like, that's why I was mad. It's just like, I know that this is a thing that I should like. What the fuck happened? And I think that it's just, hey, if you're not in the mood to play something right now, maybe don't force the issue, because it will color your final opinion on it. And I like, this is the most I've ever been wrong about a video game, I think. Like, I will fully fucking claim it. Like, this is the most wrong I ever was in expressing an opinion on this podcast. My Celeste opinion is the one that I would go back and excise if I could, because it's just like, I've never been so fucking wrong and stupid and boneheaded about it like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
But
the most important thing is, like, it did click, and I do love that game now, and like, it was great. I even played around and did a couple of the B-sides, because it was just like, I want to I'm not gonna go, and I'm not gonna be the person that 100%s this game. Like, I'm probably I'm not delving any deeper into that wormhole. But I did it because I want. Okay, like, if I'm taking away a lot of the narrative focus, which is the thing that kept me playing, if we're gonna play it for just pure mechanics, how long does that sustain me? And it's just like, okay, I had my fun with the World 1 and World 3 B-sides. I don't need any more of that. I'm fine.
That's about what I did, where I did several B-sides, and I was like, I'm good.
Like, right, I get it. I think that it's cool. I love I love that they definitely seem to have had a lot of fun developing content for that game. I think that like, it's very clearly loved on a lot.
Man.
But yeah,
I watched a stream with him. I watched a stream with Thorson on it, and he was like, "Oh yeah, we've played it for probably like a couple thousand hours." I was just like, "Yep, that's That's what you do when you have something this fine-tuned.
Yeah, like how do you not just want to keep making levels for that? I mean, that's why like things like
They did keep making levels. Yeah. They made Chapter 9.
But it's like why Doom map making is still a thing. It's because like if you make really good Doom levels, they're fucking really good.
When you have a set of verbs like that just can sustain level design forever, basically.
Yeah. Like,
and that's kind of what Celeste is, I think.
I wish Celeste had a level maker.
Oh man,
that would be so fucking cool.
You wish for that, and then you look at the nightmare
but
stuff
then
people make in Mario Maker.
People make and be like, no, I'm not playing your nightmare levels. I just think that it's a great thing that people have access to now.
That's very funny.
But yeah, Celeste is now Sockscast approved.
Oh right.
Ooh. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
because even I liked it.
Yeah, even John liked it.
I was just like, yep. Oh, this is really nice. The way that. Comparing the Pico 8 game with the main game and the moment when you get the power up.
Yes.
I think that's a very clear sort of case study in like the power of narrative contextualization of like a mechanic.
Yeah.
Because like the difference between just getting the orb and you can double jump twice, and then what happens in the finished game is mind blowing.
It's so much more meaningful.
It's so much more meaningful.
It's very, very like that. Yeah, that moment actually got me this time because I had forgotten about that. I was like, wait a minute. Oh, they have that moment. They have the hug.
As the music swells, as the dun 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 dun.
The Chapter 7 music is so good.
Oh my god, it's a banger, start to finish.
Yeah, that's the track I listen. That's the track I play.
There's so much. Like that soundtrack is literally flawless, though.
Yeah, it really is.
Like, it's one of the best fucking soundtracks in recent memory, just straight up. Yeah. I like Poncho Smith's idea that Neptune should have stolen the flag at the top of the mountain when Madeline made it to the top. Because, well, Neptune's the protagonist, man.
Yeah.
It's true. Of every game.
Every game.
You mentioned that you're not going to be the one to 100% that game. I tried to 100%
I know you
that
tried.
game and couldn't.
How far did you get?
So my first time through the game, I did every B-side with its main level. So it was a fucking journey. Because B-side 4 is a lot. Because that's the one with those weird platforms with arrows on them.
Oh, and they probably went nuts.
They make some real nuts shit where you have to like trigger one at the very bottom, and then like there's spikes on the left, spikes on the right. You've got to like do 360s around the thing, and you know. God. So I did stage 1 B-side, stage 2 B-side. So I didn't even see, like, I had to get through each B-side to see the next chapter of the story.
God. That's like doing that like Light World, Dark World, Super Meat Boy, only this is way more torturous, I feel.
I couldn't fuck with much of the dark side in Super Meat Boy. I think this is more generous.
Oh, but that also means that you're that also means that your experiences of the B-sides, you're still being propelled forward by the story.
Yeah. So that's why I did it, because it did work like that. So I do Chapter 7 B-side, Chapter 8 B-side, and then that's when you unlock the C-sides. So I did those in order until I got to Chapter 7 C-side, and that's where I fucking broke.
Oh my god. And I don't think none of us have played Chapter 9 yet, have we?
No, I plan to. I'm
going to play Chapter 9. I've just heard that it is just absolutely insane, though.
Yeah, I've heard it's up there with the hardest shit in that game.
Yeah.
But it's not something I want to jump right into.
I've seen a bit of the mechanics, and they look fun as fuck, but yeah. Cool. That game's rad.
The end of Seaside 7 is like just a minute of...
You showed me a video of that, and I was just like... Fuck out of here!
It's like a minute of straight air dashes, and like you have like no space for air, and I was just like, okay, this just isn't fun. I'm sorry anymore. And then Seaside 8, I looked up a video, and it's every mechanic for like a minute straight. Like every sort of gimmick thing shows back up for one last room.
Oh god! The temple is a cool idea. I liked it, but I didn't get very far.
Yeah. Yes, something about World 8 just doesn't kind of work as well because there's no narrative hook.
Yeah, there's no narrative
contextless.
Hook. Yeah, there's no narrative hook, and like the mechanics don't feel as thought out.
Yeah, there is kind of a nice little moment at the end, though. If you're looking for any narrative stuff.
Mm-hmm. But that's cool. Like, I feel that I've gotten everything I want out of the game.
Yeah.
I'll return to that game in the future, play it through again, obviously, because it just feels good. Like, yeah, everything
feels
about it.
real good.
Yeah.
I just remember you being like, I don't like this game, and I played chapter 1 out of spite, and I was just like, what the fuck? This feels amazing. And then I put it down for like a month, and then just started over, and then did my whole journey through it. I was just like, Polly's wrong on this one. I'm sorry.
I'm absolutely stupid wrong. Like, I'll own that. I will own that. You can quote that. So
I'm trying to remember when I was ever wrong in life. You know.
There was that build of Afterward you sent me where you literally fucked everything up.
That's just on your brain because we had that Twitch.
Yeah, it is, but it was a funny moment to think back to.
Okay, that was one wrong thing.
We did a co-op, a sort of off the cuff co-op stream where we read
for like
through
5 hours.
For like 5 hours.
Yeah, we played her Lullaby and
Holy
Afterward back
shit!
to back.
I didn't expect you to do both games.
I didn't expect it either. I didn't
expect it to take 4.5 hours.
We didn't plan any of it. It was just like, I was the first to show up to John's stream, and I was like, oh, hey, you haven't started. I can join you on call if you want. It was like, okay. Well, then we just kind of fucking flew through it, and people seem to enjoy it. People seem to have a good time.
I had a very good time.
We got to kind of like give a lot of behind the scenes stuff that we didn't, you know. It was.
I learned how to highlight on Twitch now, so it's actually saved.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I export my shit to YouTube. That way, like you just do that from the same menu. So.
Oh, you can do it manually?
Yeah,
you can do it automatically.
You can do it. You go to your highlight in the video manager, click, and then let's click the little, the period thing.
Cool. I might do that.
Yeah. So is that it? Do we have a podcast in the can, ladies and gentlemen?
I think we had a podcast. I saw the Sonic movie and I didn't like it.
Oh no,
you did?
No,
Everybody in the world seems to actually think that it turned out really well.
I think it's just a meme. I think it's literally like.
Well, I can see that. I can see that too.
We have to reward them because they listen to the consumers.
Yeah, I can see that.
Change design.
I don't think it's that. I've seen people like genuinely like, oh, Jim Carrey's actually really good in this. Like he actually gave a shit.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know.
Just none of the action sparks joy in my heart.
Yeah. I can totally see how that movie ended up being the success that it is based on just that. Yeah. Anyway,
so it's fine if you're an 8-year-old.
It's fine if you're an 8-year-old.
Yeah. It's wild that Sonic just has this longevity, though.
Yes, that is like.
It has this what? It has this what? What does
longevity.
It have? Longevity?
Oh
it has longevity.
I think you said longevity and then longevity. Either of those are right. Longevity. Sorry, Rhett.
It's just weird when you think that Sonic. Like, when's the last great Sonic game?
Generations?
That was 2011.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
So you're saying if 8-year-olds like this movie, they've never lived through a good Sonic game?
that basically.
There was that meme where people were like, which developer you have to erase every game by this developer, and it was Sega, Konami, Capcom, and Square. And I was like, I guess Sega. I'm sorry. I don't know. This is awful. I hate this. And then this movie starts with the Sega logo opening like Marvel style over like a bunch of clips of Sega games, including like Sonic and Valkyria Chronicle and Streets of Rage and
Yakuza
and Fantasy Star and it's an Echo, and it's just like zooming out over all these screenshots of Sega games, and I was just like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's like Sega. Look, man.
So good.
I don't think Sega still gets the props they deserve for everything they did trying to push the medium forward. Yeah. Like just from those early games to the weird experimentations like Echo the Dolphin to fucking the Saturn having online capability, to Phantasy Star Online being what it was at the time that it was. Like, Sega does not get the love they deserve for being the pioneers that they were.
Yeah.
We really just have to kill Capcom. It's the only option.
And Seaman! Seaman was a big fucking thing too. Jesus.
The obvious correct answer is Konami.
No!
Sorry.
Can't get rid of Contra and Castlevania. We can't get rid of the best action games. Like,
I know that one did kind of make me wince because I'm like, wait, if Contra never existed, how does that change history?
you can't think of that. It's just all the games get erased. Nothing else
but
changes.
then nothing was influenced by Contra, and that's real bad.
If you think about it in those terms, then it becomes too galaxy brain.
Yeah,
like,
then you have to actually
starting now.
The brain.
All the games are erased.
Do we have a podcast?
We have a podcast.
We have a podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank what?
I played a lot of the Symphogear phone game.
Oh, it's a fucking phone game.
Yeah, it's not a real game. We can skip it.
Okay.
Please keep jamming me about it.
There you go. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks again for coming out and joining us on this Sunday evening. Appreciate it. Appreciate the subs and the bits as well. And of course, John Dyer, where can the idiots at home find you?
Farawaytimes.itch.io.
What about you, Rat?
Socksmakepeoplesexy.net / whatever the forum is.
Sliders.
Sliders. Do your Game of the Year lists.
Yep. Get your game of the decade lists to us. Get us your anime of the decade list to it as well. Remember, to get us your anime of the decade list, we need you to send that off to podcast@socksmakepeoplesexy.net. It's just the same as the end of the year lists. So just write that up and send it off, and we'll read them when we record that episode in about 2 weeks or so.
Cool.
All right, that wraps things up here in Socksland. So again, thanks again for listening, and remember, we are the podcast that loves you. We are the only ones that love you. That's a show.
That is a show.
All right, folks, I need you to stick around though, because something was redeemed over the course of the stream by Tengu Gemini, and we need to do that, and I need to explain it a little bit.
Okay.
So if you will look, you will see that we have channel points down in the chat, right? That little poly head, we got poly points. And in one of those, the 2,500 point entry is Destroy Sacred Mikey at RC Pro-Am. So the story here is that Mikey, my friend Sacred Mikey, who is the scum of the earth, by the way, he cheats to play RC Pro-Am and beat it. That doesn't make him any kind of good player at all. I don't think it does. What do you think?
That doesn't make him any kind of good.
No, it doesn't. It makes him terrible. So for 2,500 channel points, 2,500 poly points, Tengu Gemini redeemed Destroy Sacred Mikey at RC Pro-Am. Just utterly and completely annihilate him. He is a cheater at RC Pro-Am, and so I will always be better, no matter the outcome. This is true. Right? Cheaters never prosper.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, let me see if we've got myself. You two can leave the call if you want. At this point.
It's fine.
Nope,
great.
we're in this.
You're in this to win
We're all in this, friends.
All right. So let me get the
I had
layout.
no idea this was coming.
I got a layout switched over here. If somebody wants to @ Sacred Mikey on Twitter and let him know, I'm about to nut all over his face in RC Pro-Am.
I don't have my phone. Rhett, can you do it?
Hold on. What?
Okay, I can do it.
Okay.
I'm probably not going to say that nut all over.
That's probably not a good thing to say to a stranger, even though they know it's me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see.
Twitch.tv/ Hey, y'all. Pete dropped out. I was happy about that.
Okay, I need to get this to display.
Sacred. It's just Sacred Mikey, right?
Yeah,
Michael
Sacred
Bell.
Mikey.
Polly's
About to destroy you.
About to
destroy you.
Okay, it's not showing up in
points.
OBS for some reason. Let me see here. I might need to re-add it as a source. Window capture.
Remember when I was jealous and smug about my RPG Maker thing?
Mm-hmm.
Byron replied in the chat to one of my videos and said, and then did frowny face, and then I'm deleting my project.
Oh no, John!
And then he said that, and I was like, yes,
John, you are absolutely
feel the
terrible.
Despair. I am. I can RPG
You are
fake.
Okay.
I was like, don't do that, Byron. But thank you.
Hey, y'all, I have a quick little story I forgot to say.
Uh-huh.
Go for it.
Go for it.
So do you remember the 3-day weekend when I'm pounding through the end of Fire Emblem?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And Polly's just like, I can't believe this is how you spent your weekend. I'm just sitting there smugly like, I also just marathoned all of Sympho Gear G.
That's, yeah, you're insane.
You bring us all joy, Rhett.
You do. He does. He brings us joy. I'm working on getting this window captured. Hold on.
You got this.
Almost there.
I'm going to go pee real quick.
All right. You go pee real quick.
So
okay.
I've got it.
You got what?
Well, I've got another 2,500 points. Can we just do this every time if we keep redeeming
I'm
them?
probably going to increase that. I'm probably going to increase that. I'm probably going to increase it to 5,000. Okay.
I'll still be able to afford it pretty soon.
That's fine. Like, I'm fine with it being redeemed. It's just I don't want it redeemed every time I stream.
Every time.
Okay. Now. Oh, it's because I am using a different emulator is why it wasn't capturing. Okay, I'm a derp and a dingus. Yeah, I'm a derpgus. Something like that. I guess we'll wait till John gets back before we start the attempt proper. I mean, of course, it doesn't really matter how good I do.
I mean, shouldn't Sacred Mikey be in here too?
He should be, but he's not going to be.
I guess, yeah, because he's probably not around. We don't know.
We don't know. But why did I say nut all over his face? That did not... Like, I don't know why I even said that. You ever just think about that? Like, you'll say something and it just falls out of your mouth and you're like, what? What?
That's pretty much how I feel every time you do a intro on this podcast. It's Rhett. He's got his pants down and he's peeing over the moon.
Okay, Mikey is hiding like the coward he is. Is John back?
No. So you're just gonna beat this game?
No. I'm bad at this game. It's just, I'm just doing this as a joke.
Oh.
It's just fun. I like playing the game, but I'm bad at
joke.
it. I like playing the game, though.
Oh, I thought you were actually gonna beat it.
Maybe at some point we'll get good enough that people keep redeeming it. We'll be good enough to beat it. It gotta be 24 tracks, right? It's a long journey. This game cheats this game legitimately cheats.
Aww.
It's part of the actual code that the cars can end up so fast that they reach a speed the player can never reach. So you always have to at least kill one on the lap and hope he doesn't catch up. And the orange truck, that little fucker can get supercharged to reach a speed that is 3 times the player speed and literally just lap you twice.
What?
This game cheats hard, man.
Well,
it cheats almost as bad as Mikey. But it's beatable. I've beaten this game before. I have finished 24 tracks. I have finished an entire loop of it. It is difficult.
Game cheats, you can cheat back, though.
No, that's not how it works. Not in Polyland.
When they go low, we go high.
When they go low, we go high. When it's Sacred Mikey, we don't fucking play around. We play the video game like we're goddamn human beings. John, are you back, John?
Yep, back.
All right, I'm about to play some RC Pro-Am. Are we ready?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Here we go. Here we go. Attempt number 1, being better than Sacred Mikey. Here we go. What's the gas button? Okay, it's B. It's B, everybody. I found it.
It's an NES game.
Whee!
Unfortunately, I have the stream muted, so it's a little weird.
It's fine. It's fine.
You're in first place.
I'm in first place. This is like on the first track. All of the AI is brain dead. They can barely wipe their ass. But after the first race, like they're immediately just on your ass the whole time.
So you can see where everyone's at. So does that mean there's no rubber banding?
Oh, there's rubber banding. This game cheats like a motherfucker.
Okay, never mind.
This game straight up cheats. It is part of the code that this game cheats.
When you were away, John, Polly's telling me about how like the AI can just straight up go like 2 or 3 times faster than you.
Yeah, they reach a top speed that you can't. So you like it gets to a point to where you have to kill a truck during a lap and hope that he doesn't catch up.
So can you just kill all 3?
Yeah, you can, but they respawn automatically, like after a couple seconds.
Oh. So it's not like F-Zero where they're just out.
No. Like, I think after you shoot 8 cars, the orange truck starts going crazy. This game's rad.
So wait, do you have a gun?
I have a gun. I haven't used it because the more you use it, the more it upsets the orange guy. And even running into him with the shield power up on and doing that adds to that counter. So
interesting.
I am now.
Does that carry between games?
Oh
man,
jeez.
It carries between races.
There's a meta to this.
Yeah, this game is like
system.
The game has 12 tracks that loop twice for a full loop. And then it just keeps going. So it's very much made with the arcade mindset. Now I have fart bombs. I'm a fart on people. They're the best weapon in the game. I keep missing all the tires and stuff. Those are upgrades that you can get.
I've got Reese's Pieces, so I'm having a very good time.
Oh, I could go for those.
I love them. I love
that motherfucker.
Oh, they're ahead of you, Polly.
It feels real good to smoke people in this game. Shit. See, I just like ended up getting rubber banded there at the end. Missile right up his ass. I still got some chops for this game. I can still handle the cornering. I think the last time I played this game was the Christmas stream we did back in 2015.
Oh my god.
Or was it 2016?
Oh, I forgot about that. We played like a bunch of games.
All the games that I had gotten for Christmas over the
Oh right, I remember. You have a much better memory than I do.
I try to.
The way you're able to figure out the year.
Well, I used it like when did I start podcasting, and then I kind of just rolled from that.
Zach's having trouble ranking his top 10 of the decade.
Oh, dude, it's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah, it is.
Ranking the game of the decade list, I was just like, yeah, I'll do a general tiers.
Like the amount of people contributing is going to kind of even it out anyway. So like if I forget something or something's only like one spot lower than maybe I would have wanted it, not going to be too fussed about it.
Yeah, like the overall spots don't matter in the large scope.
You got this, Paul. Wow, they are moving much faster than
they are. They started rubber banding.
Why are you so bad at the game? I don't understand.
You're out. Oh, now you're not out.
No, I have a pretty good recovery.
So there's a time there's no ammo.
Yeah, there's ammo. It's down in the bottom right.
Oh, okay.
But under my
Can't
miles per hour.
Shooting.
Oh, that was smooth
that
as
victory
butter.
hit. You shot him right before the finish line.
Yeah. Thank you for the follow.
What's the difference between winning with first place and winning in third place?
You survive.
Okay.
Basically, the goal is to just like you have to be in first through third to continue.
Okay.
And so long as you're not out by the end, you're good.
Got them corners still. Ooh.
Oh no! I just got barriered.
What has happened?
Oh.
I got barriered real hard.
Oh, I see it. Yep.
We are on the last lap, and they are so far ahead. I don't think there's any catching up.
Ooh,
we got a chance, we got a chance! Oh my god! That was so good!
Oh man, yep, I just saw that. Ah!
Oh my god! Oh my god, that was such a good finish!
What? How the fuck did you end up winning that?
Welcome. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the people, bro. Appreciate it. Yeah, isometric racing is a jam, isn't it? This game is rad. It is impossible, though. But
if you get to 12, does that count as a clear?
No, it's got to be 24. The front of the box says 24. And the game is still getting hard at that point, so...
Well, it's a two-looper.
A two-looper.
24 is a two-all.
No!
The orange car continues to get angrier and angrier.
He does. He does. Orange car will remember that.
It's good. It is good that they give you missiles in this game. Otherwise...
This is so cute.
This is a very good video game.
Yeah, fuck you, green car.
Get fucked! No! I almost blew it entirely.
Oh my god.
Woo!
Woo! Green car's like, fuck, I got shot again.
Green car is not happy right now.
Green car coming back with a vengeance next time.
He's ready for... Jesus Christ! Orange car just lapped us!
Oh, what?
I just had to fucking go crazy with the missiles there.
Oh, because as soon as he finishes, wow.
Oh, we also upgraded. We are now vans. Because we collected Nintendo.
Oh my god.
So is the idea now that the orange car is just going to win every time and you need to get second?
No, it does calm down. But he does reach a point to where he is literally impossible.
Winning calms me down.
Makes him complacent.
Lowers my rank. Oh, look at them. Oh my god.
All bunched together.
Boy, this game would be a nightmare if they had weapons too.
Oh, it would, yeah. I just put one right up Orange Car's ass. I'm gonna pay for that.
Does it only rank up when you shoot the orange car?
No. It's number of cars shot, but the orange car reacts specifically to it.
Oof.
We are now on level 10. I pissed off Orange Van. He done had enough of my shit.
Right, retweeting the love lives.
Oh, is he?
Yep.
Listen. There's a couple seconds between each race.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's time.
That's enough time to see a love live.
Yeah. It's about all the brain power you need to associate to Love Live. About 2 seconds.
Oh, that's the one that likes rice.
There was some drill tweet the other day that was very much me, but like if you replaced one of the words with anime girls, where he's just
I know
like
the one you're talking about.
Scrolling through Twitter, not a single conscious thought in my head, just retweeting every anime girl I see.
It's me playing gacha games, just like no.
Oh
thought.
yeah, I could use this time to talk about gacha now.
Oh, go
that's
for
true.
it. Go
Tell
for
us
it.
about it.
Go for it.
Gacha's bad.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Symphogear game seems particularly bad in a couple ways, huh?
Well, so the thing I realized though is that those opinions about it being a bad gacha were coming from the general gacha thread on Reset Era.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like there's obviously two ways to look at it, where you're coming to this game as a fan of gacha, which
oh my god.
or you're coming to this game as a fan of Symphogear.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's
even
it's not even the like there's just bad crossover there.
Can you even imagine being like, oh, I'm not into Symphogear, but I love gacha games. I'm gonna check it out. I check out this new Symphogear one. Oh lord. Oh, that just makes me sad.
It just sounds like the most nightmarish hell scenario.
Yeah. People Bro, a gacha game is the stuff like Fate Grand Order or Ground Blue Fantasy.
Mobile games with pay-to-win mechanics where you just get JPEGs and that's your prize.
Yeah. Well, that's one way you can put it. The other way is that they're RPGs, where we also collect because Fate Grand Order doesn't have auto battle. You have to manually do every fight. It's very painful.
Is there even auto attack?
No.
This track is the worst.
Manually select every attack.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, this game looks hard, Polly.
This track is the worst. Oh, we're done. What? We're out.
Oh no! It's the
This track is so bad.
You really fucked that one
up.
Yeah.
I really screwed the pooch. It's over. I have got
porked that one, Polly.
Yeah. Oh
you
no.
were right. Well, it was the last level too.
Yeah, so close. This is it's such a bad track.
This is fucking bullshit. There's so much oil.
Well,
you just have to know where it is.
But hey, the point stands. I just played RC Pro-Am way better than Sacred Mikey. So I'm going to enter my initials as S MS for Sacred Mikey
Sacred
sucks.
Mikey sucks.
Look at that. Look at that. I did better than Sacred Mikey ever could. Playing RC
true.
Pro-Am.
You're at the top of the high score table.
Just completely annihilated.
There's another SMS on that high score table. What the fuck?
Oh my god!
What?
Yeah, it's fourth. I never noticed that before.
What on earth? Sacred Mikey says, "I'll see you tomorrow."
Oh, will you? Will you? I just proved to the world that I am better than you at RC Pro-Am, Mikey. What you gonna do about it? What you coming at me with?
He's just gonna cheat on the next run.
He's gonna cheat on the next one. Absolutely. That's because that's the Sacred Mikey way. That's the Sacred Mikey way.
I can't believe this game's 1987.
Yeah, it's pretty damn advanced for a 1987
Oh, that's rare.
game.
That kind of makes sense.
Yeah, like they were
Yeah,
really...
but when did the NES even come out? 86?
83 in Japan?
83
In Japan, though,
85
but this-
here, right?
Yeah,
But this
something
is a
like that.
Western game because it's rare.
Yeah. This is one
It
of those
just seems
games
very
that's-
early.
Yeah.
Isometric road blasters. Yep.
Yeah,
I
they
did
were doing
message
a lot
my-
of isometric stuff though.
Yeah.
Snake Rattle and Roll. This Kerber Triangle, Captain Skyhawk, things of that nature.
God, yeah, there were a lot.
Yeah, that like Rare, like this was their shit back in the day.
I mean, Battletoads is just like us them
Battletoads
showing
is-
off.
Yeah, yeah.
They're just like, what if we make a level where every single level is just different?
Yeah.
We're just
Kerber
making,
Triangle
like,
looks like a good game. It is hard as fuck. It's one of the hardest games I think I've played. Like, it's ridiculous.
Oof.
And it also cheats in a lot of similar ways. All right, so I'm going to look and see who's streaming and toss you all off onto a host somewhere, so stick around. I'll give you something else to put your peepers on. Let's see who be streamerizing. And of course, again, thanks for coming out for the podcast. It's very much appreciated. Looks like After 5 is... oh, he's doing a rerun. Never mind. I thought he was live. I was like, what's going on here? My friend, Cypherin, is playing I Want to Be the Boshi, and it's a 12-hour challenge to beat the game. So I'm going to send you all on over there. Thanks again for coming out. Yep. Why is there a moon pie? Because I love moon pies.
They're our sponsor.
They're our sponsor. Not really, but we're going to say they are. But I love moon pies, and I didn't have anything else to stick there because I'm not speedrunning at the moment and don't have splits. So there you go. Thanks for the... of course, if I didn't thank you already, thank you for the follow, people, bro. Much appreciated. Anyway, we're going to get on out of here for the night. I'll catch you later. Stick around for Cypherin. I'll send you all over there. Be sure to say hi, all that fun stuff. Catch you later.